works, but anything's possible in a short week in the NFL.
Right.
Here's two-time Super Bowl champ, CBS NFL analyst, and you can check out his podcast, Sims Complete Podcast. This is awesome. First time on Overdrive.
Yeah.
Here's Phil Sims. How you doing, Phil?
Hey, I'm doing well. No complaints. And, tonight's game, I got to tell you the truth. I love midweek football because I work pretty hard, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least I tell people that.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So Thursday, I'll think about, let's do a little more because the game's coming on. And you know what? If it's a complete travesty and whatever, I enjoy those games too. I don't know.
It's still football, right?
Yeah.
It's still football.
That's right.
Yeah.
Every game have to be high scoring and we got touchdowns and our QB ratings high and all that bull. Sometimes it's good to see a really ugly game because if you want to be a good team, you got to win a few ugly games during the year too.
Absolutely.
What do you expect out of Dak Prescott? Do you think he can make a statement and really dominate?
Dominate? I don't know if he can dominate. But I'll say this fast is I don't think the San Francisco defense right now is the same defense I saw when it was really clicking last year. And I would say this also, Dak Prescott being in that situation last year in the playoff game, if he's presented the same opportunities Sunday, is it Sunday or
Sunday nighter?
Right.
Yep, Sunday nighter.
Yeah. If he's presented the same opportunities, I think he will take advantage of them, and it would give him a great chance to win the game. When they played that playoff game, there were about 3 or 4 times it was there for a big play. But, when you play teams, and I remember it when I was a quarterback, when you play teams that can really rush the passer, the coach all week long, hey, now make sure you get rid of the ball, get rid of the ball, get rid of the ball. And he got rid of the ball too quickly and cost himself, I thought, a couple opportunities to maybe change the outcome of that game.
Everyone's got a different opinion on Brock Purdy, and it seems to be an ongoing debate. Is he a systems quarterback? Is he a standalone quarterback? What is your opinion of Brock Purdy?
Just take the frying pan and hit me in the back of the head. I mean, every time there's an interview on TV, I watch a lot of TV because I watch the football games, but I'm listening to the TV. So, what do you think? Is this guy an elite quarterback? I mean, let it go. Is he top 10? Hell, I don't know. But he's presented with great opportunities with the San Francisco 49ers, and he's taken advantage of it at a high percentage. And, with Kyle Shanahan, what he does, and he's really done his whole career, he doesn't really need or he's never really had a guy like, let's say, Josh Allen, Lamar, anybody that's just an incredibly dynamic playmaker. But he doesn't need that because he knows how to get them open. So Brock's doing a tremendous job. I hate these, what do you think, or, let's judge him. And I heard, I won't even say their name. I can't even watch it. But I heard somebody on TV this afternoon, and, they just couldn't give him any credit. And I think that's ridiculous and good for him.
Yeah.
It kind of tells the story. What? Great experience in college can carry over to the pro game. There's nothing like being under center in the shotgun a lot of times just to feel comfortable. It usually takes a little bit to get used to the athletes you see on the field in the NFL. But, man, Brock Purdy has really done a tremendous job. That's all I can say.
It's such a cool story, too, right? Like, regardless of what he's going to be in a decade. The guy was the last pick of the draft. He wasn't expected to have anything to do with this. They traded up to get Trey Lance. They had Garoppolo there before him. And now it's his team. Like, at a minimum, the Purdy story is a really cool story.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, come on. It's great. It just tells you there's many ways to play the quarterback position. And I like them all. And I study them all. And, when they traded up for Trey Lance, many things about that, which whatever. But I think I'll never forget that the year before, the San Francisco 49ers played the Buffalo Bills on a night game. I don't know if it was Sunday, Monday. And when the game was over, they said to Kyle Shanahan something. He goes, look, it didn't matter what we do. We were not going to beat that quarterback. And I always wonder, was he looking for somebody that was big, could run and throw? Well, the problem is there's very few people like that out there. And Trey Lance, I'm not going to pick on him, but he's never going to be the thrower or the mover that Josh Allen is. So hard to find guys like that. And they took a chance and it backfired.
Chatted with Phil Simms, two-time Super Bowl champ, CBS NFL analyst. His podcast, Simms Complete Podcast.
That was my first one with my son this past Tuesday.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Yes, we love it. We've heard all. It seems to be getting a good buzz. You like jumping into the podcast world, Phil, or what?
Oh, I just can say this, guys, both of you. I'm going to tear it up.
Okay.
I have so much in this head, as you can hear. I can't shut up sometimes. But I want to get it out. And, I love working at CBS, and I do. But, I can't get it all out there every week, and it gets frustrating for all of us because time and commercials, and that's what we do. But the podcast is I'm not telling you guys anything. You get all this time on the radio.
It's free flowing, man.
So it's nice to get your opinion out there. And I'm one of those guys. I do watch just about everything, and I always tell people this. They go, "Do you really watch every game every week?" And I go, "Yeah, it's a really tough job. I got to watch football games during the day."
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, are you going to rant on your podcast about Daniel Jones and the pressure that he's under with the Giants?
Am I going to rant about it? I'm going to tell that I haven't. I'm going to watch the Giant game again on tape tomorrow morning. I think I know what I'm going to see. It's a train wreck.
Yeah,
I played in 1980. Almost in that exact position. We were horrendous. And I took a beating like, you just can't believe you can survive it sometimes. But every once in a while, there would be a game. I think we played like the 8-1 Dallas Cowboys that year, and we put up 38 points on them, and we beat them. And then we went back to who we were later and just got blown out the rest of the year. But, I'm waiting for at least something like that to happen for the Giants. But you guys know everything. When your offensive line struggles, your team is going to struggle. And it's just the way it is every single year. If you watch the playoffs, it's usually the top 10 or 12 offensive lines that are in that playoff, and they know what to expect each week. And the Giants are not right now, definitely not in that category.
Yeah, and they got a tough skid coming up. Dolphins and Bills the next couple of weeks. That's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chatter around Cincinnati this year because they haven't met expectations, nowhere close to it, especially offensively, and Joe Burrow. And everyone, I think, understands Burrow's really injured. He's banged up, and he missed camp, and he has not looked himself. You're the perfect guy to ask, a quarterback, because you guys are a different breed, and you understand your importance and the magnitude that comes with that position, the money, the responsibility, and the importance of playing. Everyone's got a take on if they should shut him down or not. What do you think Joe Burrow is thinking right now about his own status?
Well, all you said was true except the money part for me when we were playing.
Right, a bit different. A little bit of a tax, different tax bracket.
Oh, my gosh. I know. I'm happy for him always. And then I remember last year, Boomer said something. I looked at him. I said, "You know what, Boomer? It's never bothered me. But I got to tell you the truth. It's bothered me now."
Yeah.
And, Joe Burrow they created so many big plays last year, not by like him running like Lamar Jackson, but his movement in the pocket, out of the pocket, looking for passes. That was such a big part of their team. So now they don't have that. They're pretty much a stationary offense. They don't try to trick you in formation. They want to line up and beat you with talent. And right now that's not working. And it just goes through the whole team. Now they can't pass. The defenders even know it. I've heard some of the quotes from guys that played him last week in Tennessee. Like, they know he can't move very much. So they just go, and they're not worried about rush lanes and stuff like that. And it's hurting their defense, which I think is pretty solid, but it can't even show that either. So it's a big a tight spot they're in. And Joe Burrow, look, he got paid. He's the quarterback. And I'm just telling you, that's what they expect when you talk about NFL franchises. I would play games. I go, I have no business playing, but they didn't even think twice about it. Parcells he didn't even ask me if I was ready to go. He just, my God, you're playing, and you better play well. Jim, I don't want to hear about no excuses that your ankle hurts or something like this. So I said, hey, can we play the game first before I come up with excuses? But
right.
Yeah, but that's just expected, and it's really tough, and he's just trying to hang in there to see if he can not get injured anymore and get back to who he really is and give him a chance. But, man, this league's tough, and it's hard to make comebacks in the league, that's for sure.
You mentioned Bill Parcells, and he had so many incredible quotes, throughout his career, and was always at the, kind of front of every single game and rivalry. And you got a situation this week where the Jets are in Denver playing the Broncos. So Nathaniel Hackett, the OC for the Jets, making his return to Denver against Sean Payton, the new head coach of the Broncos, who carved him up publicly on the record. Right. And yet these two teams stink. The Jets can't win because they don't have a quarterback, and Denver's getting rocked 70-20 down in Miami. Does this still hold up for you? Like, is this still a story, Peyton versus Hackett, considering Rodgers is done and Denver hasn't been very good?
I think it is, for many reasons. While I live up here in the area, I will say this. For the first time in 3 years, Zach Wilson almost looked like the guy that I saw the way he played at BYU. Mm-hmm. And my whole point to this, I'll say it on the air Sunday, hey, don't go out there and try to manage the game, coaches. And for Nate Hackett, man, do you want to just stick it to him? Then let him get back there deep where he can fire the ball down the field and moving because he can move. And then moving becomes much easier. I watched that game against Kansas City today. And every time he took a 9 or 10-yard drop with a play action, every time except once, something good was there. Either they were open, he made the throw, or he moved and made the throw, or he ran. And that's who he is. So to go out there and try to play perfect football and get the right play and all, man, you got to let it go. That's all I can say. That's what I hope to see from the Jets. And for Denver, the defense, well, maybe they're going to be a little more emotionally ready because they finally won a game. The fans will be behind them, and if they lose the game, the fans will be out there before the fourth quarter. But, Justin Fields goes, man, if I could just play them 5 times a year, I'd be an all-pro.
Kidding, man. Hall of Famer. Everyone wants to play Denver.
He looked great. But the thing that worries me about the Jets is I don't look at their receiving core being special. And I think that's, we'll see. Garrett Wilson, of course, is very good, but I just don't think there's other weapons there to really take advantage of sometimes when you throw the football. But yep. I'm anxious to see it, so I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest, as you can hear.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. He is 2-time Super Bowl champ, CBS NFL analyst. Check out his podcast, Sims Complete Podcast. He is Phil Sims. Phil, enjoy Week 5 and beyond. We really appreciate you doing this, and good luck with the podcast.
Oh, well, listen, thank you. I got to put one real quick thing in there.
Yep.
The Chad.
Yes, Chad Kelly, your guy. We love Chad up here. He's killing it in the CFL.
We call him down here in northern Jersey. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. And he must have worked out here. I don't know. I saw him throw more this offseason than any human I've ever watched. He works really hard, and I got more film on him than anybody on my phone. I got to start erasing some of it. But I'm so glad it's going well, and I'm glad you guys are having a winning season. He's doing great, and the Chad, that's what we all.
The Chad, yes.
They're going to win, and he's going to lead them to it. I'm telling you.
The Argos have been the best team in pro football. That includes the NFL. They are the best team in the Canadian Football League by a mile.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So I'm really happy for him. And listen, you guys, thanks for having me on. I sure appreciate it.
We appreciate it as well. Thank you. There he is, the great Phil Sims. Yeah, Chad Kelly's really close with the Sims family.
Yeah.
And Chad's always down there throwing and working out in the offseason.
I've got tickets. I'm going to the playoff games. My son has demanded, and I'm into it.
Tomorrow night's the 150th anniversary game. 150 years the Argos have been around, which is amazing history. And, they're going to the playoffs and obviously home field, right? Like, you know what's coming. That Eastern Final is going to be down at BMO.
Do we know if the Chad is playing or not?
The Chad will be playing, yes. The Chad will be playing tomorrow night, as far as I know, because of the magnitude of the event, right? Like it's a big celebration tomorrow night down at BMO Field. And I think the weather's supposed to hold up. I think it's supposed to be pretty nice.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. But Chad Kelly's been great and signed that extension. There you go.
He's locked in here.
Quinn, you got to give him a Kelly jersey.
I do have to. I got to get a.
They got great gear. You know what? The baby blues that they wear, like Dinwiddie wears on the sideline, is an awesome look.
And the look is great. The whole experience is amazing.
Yeah, they do a great job.
I loved it.
They do a great job.
Although
BMO Field's amazing too. It's a great spot.
It really is. Like I haven't obviously been to a soccer game there, which I think I should. Just
World
to take
Cup.
in the whole
Get there for
atmosphere.
the World Cup.
The whole atmosphere, I feel like, that's a different story. That's a different layer.
Bit of a different beast.
Yeah. But I'm taking it in. All in.
There you go. Argos playoffs.
Yeah.
Noodles will be down there. All right. TSN 1050's Leaf lineup is your chance to win Leaf tickets every week, all season long. Every weekday, we will announce a current or former Maple Leaf player. On Fridays, you'll have a chance to call and name the Leafs lineup of the week. That means you got to name all 5 players in the lineup, and you'll score a pair of tickets to an upcoming Maple Leaf game. Today's player, Michael Bunting.
Ooh.
Michael Bunting, former Maple Leaf Michael Bunting. This week, we're giving away a pair of tickets to see the Leafs take on the Wild on October 14th. So today's player is Michael Bunting. We'll come back and put a cap on today's show. Look ahead to Leafs, Red Wings tonight. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2.
Time now for TSN 1050 Time Saver Traffic.
Northbound Don Valley Parkway approaching Bayview Bloor. We still have that stalled vehicle blocking the right shoulder. Northbound DVP is heavy from the Gardner to York Mills and then from Steeles to Elgin Mills. Southbound is busy from Elgin Mills to 16th Avenue and then from Steeles to Eglinton. Gardner eastbound is busy from the South Kingsway to Yonge Street, and then westbound we've got volume from the Don Valley Parkway to Dufferin and then from Islington right to the 427. And in town we have a crash cleanup underway on southbound Morningside approaching Shepherd in the right lane. Skip the crowds in Europe this fall and winter, book with Air Canada, and enjoy new year-round destinations like Rome, Lisbon, Toulouse, Edinburgh, and Barcelona. From the News Talk 1010 Traffic Center, I'm Rick Sargent.
This October, riveting originals are right at your fingertips when you add stars to a Crave subscription. Courtney Cox, Greg Kinnear, and Mira Sorvino in new episodes of Shining Vale.
What if my psychosis got into the family?
Oscar winner Forrest Whitaker in the crime drama Godfather of Harlem.
I call the shots.
Stars also has the latest releases. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, and the slasher comedy, The Blackening. Whoa. Subscribe now at stars.ca. Also available on Crave.
Foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down!
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
At Public Mobile, we do things differently. From our subscription phone plans to throwing a big sale right now when no one else is. Well, maybe they are, but who cares? Our sale is better. And it's on right now. No waiting necessary. You have the latest phone. Now take advantage of a great price on a 5G subscription phone plan. It's the perfect deal for anyone who could use some savings right now. Subscribe today at publicmobile.ca. Different is calling.
Need to get out of your car lease? You need the exit power of Lease Busters, Canada's #1 lease takeover destination and marketplace. They'll maximize your exit power, so getting out of your vehicle lease is easy. Before you give back your lease, check out leasebusters.com.
Buying a new car? You could go from dealership to dealership and spend hours negotiating. Or you could go to carcostcanada.com. Choose your vehicle, view your customer report, see your recommended dealer. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and membership is free.
It's so cold in here.
You're blocking the fan.
Can you toss me that blanket?
Okay, who turned up the heat? Because it's a sauna in here.
Did you hear me? I'm a popsicle.
My blanket needs a blanket.
Open
just a few degrees lower.
You may never agree on the perfect temperature, but agree on a smart thermostat. It can learn your preferences and adjusts automatically to keep the whole family comfy from anywhere, anytime. Until October 31st, get $100 off popular smart thermostat models and save instantly before you buy. Terms and conditions apply. Visit enbridgegas.com/smartthermostat.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Leafs Red Wings coming up on TSN 1050, also up on TSN 4 tonight. Only a couple of preseason games left, right? You
Yes.
got a lot of fantasy hockey leagues going now.
I know.
I'm going to have a couple probably, I think Tuesday night I'm doing one, maybe Monday night.
I had somebody email me saying, can you take a look at my fantasy team?
What are you going to evaluate it
Well, I don't
after the
know.
fact?
I don't know.
That's what doesn't make sense. That
Like, what if I was like, well, that stinks?
Yeah, and
Like,
how do you
can't
know
change it.
who they could have picked?
Right.
Like, you're not going to filter through every round and say, well, you took this guy, I would have taken that guy.
I've never played a fantasy game in my life, like as far as, picking teams.
Fantasy
and stuff
sports.
Like that. Yeah, I'd like to, but I feel like I've never been, like Roberto Luongo invited me one time and I missed the call. So that was it.
Yeah, I remember he used to do that publicly online. Like, it used to be like a Yahoo pool or something.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe, I don't think I got in on that, but I was going to maybe get in on that too. Because I think you were like, I'm
Didn't
not
I
doing
set it up with you? Or
Yeah.
I feel-
Maybe I did do it and I just never
think you
paid
did.
attention. I think I got kicked out because I think Louis was like, you're not, because some people are really into it.
Yes, he
Like
was
if-
like the commissioner.
Yes, and it's like if you don't take it seriously and respond to trade requests and don't have players up on the block that you're willing to and I don't do that. I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I love football fantasy. I like playing hockey fantasy, but I'm not riding the waiver wire every single day. And I'm not responding to you about what I'd be willing to trade a player for, future picks. But there are guys who absolutely live for it.
Yeah.
And they will kick you out of the league if you don't invest enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, you had someone on the bench that was playing. You're out. Like, sorry, man, I got kids. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, dude. I had other stuff going on.
Haven't had enough time to do that. But yeah, I'm going to have
commitment.
to get back to the guy. But I'm going to look at the list and go, yeah, there's some good players.
Just say
on
it
there.
stinks. Like, why not? You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
then, what would he do? He couldn't do anything. He's
There's
chosen
nothing you
team
can do
already.
anyway. There's no point in evaluating a fantasy draft after the fact.
Yeah, well, I'm going to
without understanding who he took.
Team looks good.
Because he could send you a team and you'd be like, yeah, it looks all right. And then you realize he had first pick and he didn't take McDavid.
Yeah.
And he didn't, he took Draisaitl instead or Matthews because he's a Leaf fan.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's true. I wouldn't be able to pick out his.
No, you don't
stage.
know that kind of stuff. Don't waste your time.
I'm not.
All right. Thanks to everyone today for helping out behind the scenes. Everyone for tuning in today, radio, TV, podcast, web. We appreciate that. Leafs, Red Wings coming up. And, of course, we got Commanders, Bears tonight as well. So a full breakdown of both games tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll continue to break down what happened with the Blue Jays as their season came to an abrupt ending yesterday.
Fallout. That's what it's going to be. The
Yes,
fallout.
there's going to have to be some answers here. I don't know who's going to supply them or when they're going to be supplied, but I think most people are waiting for that.
All right.
All right. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.
Time now for TSN 1050 Time Saver Traffic.
Con Valley Parkway northbound just past Bayview Bloor. We have got a stalled vehicle. It's currently blocking the right lane. 427 southbound at Dixon Road. A stall there has the center lane blocked. And in town, we have a trash cleanup underway on southbound Morningside approaching Shepherd in the right lane. Looking for local eggs? Hint, they're at your grocery store. From farm to table in 4 to 7 days. Real farmers, real eggs. Learn more at getcracking.ca. From the News Talk 1010 Traffic Center, I'm Rick Sargent.
First up, with Korolnik and Koliakovo, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last.
David Spade hosts a new CTV game show that asks,
is it real? Or is it snake oil?
Snake Oil, the new game show based on a classic scam. New episode, Wednesday at 7:10 Mountain on CTV.
Richard and Ola wanted to sell their apartment building that they had owned for over 40 years. Having to deal with problem tenants was starting to take a toll on them, not to mention the concern of interest rates affecting values. So they contacted the number one RE/MAX team in Toronto and the GTA, that's Franklin and Associates. They wanted to make sure that they secured the most money possible. And that's when the multi-million-dollar marketing system that reaches millions of potential buyers was put into action, and 3 offers were received, and the property was sold at a price that far exceeded Richard and Ola's expectations. Most agents start marketing after you list with them. Frank is marketing long before he meets a potential seller. That's why he has buyers lined up as soon as he lists the home. You too can get amazing results when selling your property by calling Franklin Associates, the only team that I trust. you want to have a multi-million-dollar marketing machine and team of professionals working for you. So call Franklin Associates at 416-917-5466. That's 416-917-LION. Or go online to getleo.com and start packing with confidence.
Hey, it's Brian Hayes. It's been said that I've broken a thing or two around the house as an excuse to hop on the Jiffy app. Who knows? But what I do know is Jiffy is the real deal. My freezer stopped working last week, and before I could worry about my ice cream, Jay, a Jiffy appliance repair pro, came, worked his magic, and ice cream was on the table for dessert. Thank you, Jiffy. I've been telling you for years, Jiffy is always the way to go. Download the Jiffy app or sign up at jiffyondemand.com with the code SPORTS for $25 off your first job. Jiffy, fast and reliable home maintenance.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
Whatever the weather, CMC Markets is here to help. Planning for a rainy day? Enjoy $0 commission on U.S. and Canadian share CFDs. Riding out the storm? Get ahead of the curve with lightning-fast execution speeds. Blue skies ahead? Go with the trusted broker backed by over 30 years experience. Switch to CMC Markets and join over 275,000 global traders. Learn more at cmcmarkets.ca. FX spreads apply. CFDs involve a high degree of risk. Member Canadian Investor Protection Fund. Umbrella not included.
Lone Star knows you love slow-cooked, super saucy ribs. That's why you'll love celebrating Rib Fest. Now, for a limited time, get a half rack of slow-cooked ribs and a side of Mexican street corn for $24.99. Try one of 8 unique sauces, including apple spice rum, Carolina Gold, or Chipotle tequila. Plus, all-you-can-eat Mondays with endless ribs for just $33.99. Don't miss Rib Fest, only at Lone Star Texas Grill. Visit lonestar.ca for details and to find a restaurant near you.
We're gonna build a train so big, it can't be stopped.
Add Stars to a Crave subscription and get the explosive new season of Power Book 4, Force.
Egan is too dangerous to be left alive.
Tommy, you're gonna get what you deserve today. Tommy Egan is back, and he's badder than ever.
They're gonna regret the day they tried to play us. Chicago's a violent city. Game over.
Power Book 4, Force. Stream now on Stars. Also available on Crave.
Never invested more in student success. We're hiring thousands of new educators to work alongside some of the best paid teachers in Canada, right here in Ontario. We're investing in new reading and math supports and spending billions to upgrade and build state-of-the-art schools. Students are back in classrooms with their friends where they belong, so they learn the skills they need now for the jobs of the future. Learn more at ontario.ca/investing in students. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Let's face it, there's no best time for your furnace to break down. There is, however, a worse time, and that would be when the cold weather hits. But by planning ahead, you could avoid the worst-case scenario and save $1,200. With Reliance Home Comfort's early bird sale, when you upgrade to a featured furnace, you get $1,200 off your purchase. Our sale won't last long, so don't wait for winter to tell you it's time to upgrade your furnace. And call on Reliance. Conditions apply. Savings off regular price. See website for details.
At Toyota, we believe your vehicle is more than just a ride. It's your trusty sidekick, so make sure it's ready to go, because there's a 100% chance of winter this winter, and you can take those odds to the bank, not the snowbank. Trust the experts at Toyota for premium winter tires, batteries, brakes, and more. Beat the winter rush and book an appointment today. Visit shoptoyota.ca or contact your local Toyota dealer.
CHUM AM Toronto is TSN 1050, an iHeart radio station and the voice of Toronto sports. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Oh, yes, they do. Welcome inside for the first time for us. Scotiabank Arena, Jim Taddy and Frank Corrado with you. The Leafs at home to Detroit tonight. They'll wrap up their preseason schedule Saturday night in Detroit. And Frankie C. looking forward to more Minton Nyes.
Yeah, they've been the story of the preseason. And for Fraser Minton, Jimmy,
like, you talk about players and certain things that they say going into training camp, especially a player who's in a position like his where he kind of knows eventually he's going back to junior, but he's making the decision very difficult on Sheldon Keefe and the rest of the brass here. He's going to get an opportunity on the third line with Matthew Nyes, who he's played tremendously with throughout the preseason, and Calle Jarnkrok, who's making his debut. But one day at a time, one shift at a time, that's the motto for a player like that, and he's working himself into the conversation.
The starting lineup is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian Ultra Export or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. And so here's what the Leafs will present tonight. Matthews centering Marner and Bertuzzi. Tavares between Nylander and Domi. Minton centering Jarnkrok and Nyes. Camp between Reeves and Holmberg on the blue line. Riley Brody, Gio Liljegren, McCabe, and Benoit. And Samsonov is expected to play the entire game.
All right, Jimmy. When we talk about this lineup, there's a few stories that come to mind. And it's not the big boys for me, because we know exactly what the big boys are at this point. They're just getting their wheels ready for the regular season. The Minton story is one. Matthew Nyes playing himself into more of a prominent role on the team is one of them. One of the quieter ones is Pontus Holmberg, who's going to be on the fourth line with David Kemp and Ryan Reeves tonight. Like, for me, he's one of those guys, he was on the outside looking in, coming into camp. He's quietly gone about his business and put himself in a position here to add some versatility. He may be the fourth line center. He may play on the fourth line at left wing, but he's one of those guys that he's a smart player. You notice him for all the right reasons more often than not.
Well, there's fascinating stuff about to happen here, so let's get into the players to watch.
Players to watch.
Frankie C., take it away.
So we already talked about Fraser Minton. We talked about Pontus Holmberg. How about our good buddy William Nylander, Jimmy? All the talk coming into training camp was Willie Nylander is going to be the third-line center, and there's going to be a lot of runway to see that happen. Well, tonight he's going to be on the second line, right wing, next to John Tavares, where we've seen him historically in the past. And I don't want to say that the experiment is over. It has more to do with the fact that Fraser Minton has done a really nice job of asserting himself throughout this camp. So much so that Sheldon Keefe wants to see what he looks like as the third-line center on this team. Naturally, that gives you the opportunity to put William Nylander back on the wing where he's more comfortable. And if you can have a solution from within, like we always talk about, it solves problems for your team. Fraser Minton is a young player. He might get a few games now at this point. We'll see where it goes from there. But he's done a really nice job, and now that allows you to not have to put William Nylander in a position like third-line center where he may not be as comfortable. You put him in a position to succeed more.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to, because this is the first time we're going to see this, and we hope to see it on a regular basis. Bertuzzi, Domi, Nyes, and Reeves. So those are the four guys. We're not going to count Nyes last year because he arrived late, but those are the four real adds that make it difficult to play against the Leafs, and they're all in the lineup together for the first time.
Well, and I'll take it one step further. They are all on a different line. Bertuzzi on the first line, Domi on the second, Nyes on the third, Reeves on the fourth, and they all do things a little bit differently. But the reality is, they're hard players to play against. For Bertuzzi, he's going to give you a shot when you're not expecting it. He's going to finish every hit. Domi, it's that tenacity, that speed, that feistiness. Matthew Nyes, he's a dog on a bone when it comes to trying to get the puck. And Ryan Reeves, we know what kind of presence he has on the ice. It'll be fascinating to see all four players spread across four different lines.
Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph are next. This is most of Canadian Leafs hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Natural diamonds were created by nature, deep in the heart of the earth. Created diamonds are born in the fiery heart of a plasma chamber.
What is plasma?
Lightning is made of plasma, and the sun is made of...
The adventure of a lifetime is just a click away. Casting is now open for the new season of CTV's The Amazing Race Canada.
We want to see you on the finish line.
Go to ctv.ca/The Amazing Race Canada to apply.
1868 Wilson Avenue. Buy your tickets now at deltabingo.eventbrite.ca. Play smart 18+.
Count on Farm Boy for fresh, never frozen Ontario turkey. Guaranteed juicy and tender. And Ontario smoked ham, fully cooked and so versatile. And save time with the convenience of chef prep sides. Celebrate fall around the harvest table at Farm Boy.
It was a rainy day when Pizzaville declared, "We'll never be the fastest. We'll never be the cheapest. We'll never be the snazziest dressed." What? Yeah, my point is, we want to be the best. At Pizzaville, we want to make the best pizza. Stone-baked, the traditional Italian way.
Pizzaville Stone-Baked Pizza. Fiercely Canadian. Authentically Italian.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, it still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. When you see the green check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights. eBay Motors has millions of parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Creating a company's culture is more than a vision and mission statement or plastering catchy phrases on the wall. People are the most important asset of any organization, so it's critical to build a culture that attracts and retains top talent. At Train West Online Academy, we help you establish a series of steps to help you define your corporate culture. We will help you define your beliefs, values, and passion, and discuss how you first need to connect with people. If you'd like to learn how to do this, go to trainwest.ca and click on our management training programs. That's trainwest.ca.
There's no better way to drive home than with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog. Overdrive every weekday, 4 to 7 p.m. on TSN 1050.
Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings, a back-to-back. Well, not back-to-back. I guess, well, it is back-to-back, but there's a day in betwixt and between. Huh? What do you think? Yeah. Anyway, the last two games of the preseason between these two original six rivals, which has become a bit of a mainstay over the last 10 years or so, that the final two games would be, in fact, played against each other. And the starting goaltenders, Alex Lyon for the Detroit Red Wings and Ilya Samsonov for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the Leafs have pretty much dressed the lineup that is 90-some-odd% ready and probably starting game one against Montreal.
Well, there are certainly some decisions to be made. Fraser Minton, I know, has sort of been in the spotlight. And I want to ask you this. Would you not have to go back to when Thomas Caberlet came in, the surprise at training camp and made the team under Pat Quinn, that it was that long ago? And obviously more difficult now with salary caps and everything else.
We're underway as the puck goes down into the Toronto zone, and Brody will regroup it now here with Morgan Riley, who gets it ahead on the left wing for Bertuzzi. The former Red Wing will send it in around the boards for Marner. Marner sends it to the net. Lyon was able to knock it away. Kept alive at the point by Riley. Back of the net, didn't reach Bertuzzi. Riley is able to get to his man, but the puck is slid all the way down into the Leaf end, and the first changes for both teams coming as a result. Brody up on the right side. Nylander coming to center. We're going to make sure we give this a long workout at center ice, as ended with two exhibition games left. Nylander's back on the right side with Tavares, and now Domi. Playing around the boards in the Detroit zone. Comes back to the blue line. Nylander unable to keep it in. Had it knocked away. Is able to recover it and plays back to the defense. Giordano, who celebrated his 40th birthday when the team was up in Gravenhurst for a little bonding session for the last couple of days. Now the Red Wings intercept a pass and they bring it in over the line. Trying to get a shot away was Danielson, and it was steered wide of the net by goaltender Samsonov. Leafs break it out. Nyes shooting it in, and Minton roars in there after it. Couldn't get it away from the goaltender, then comes away with the loose puck. Dropped it back to the blue line, but Benoit completely fanned on it. Now a pass intercepted by Minton, a shot! And into the glove of Lyon. Young man who's making the most of his opportunity. Good for him.
Maybe. He could have been used in Minnesota yesterday with that hand-eye coordination.
Oh, now there you go. Now you've started it, haven't you?
No, I'm just saying that made pretty good contact, knocked it down, got a chance.
So if he'd had a Louisville Slugger in his hand.
Well, I don't follow the analytics stuff.
No. Centering pass at the point by McCabe. Didn't reach it. It comes back to the blue line. McCabe on the left wing with a shot deflected just off the side of the net. Leafs have been all over the Red Wings here thus far. David Camp swinging it back to the blue line. Benoit sends it around the boards for McCabe. Dropping it back for Camp. Camp trying to free it up for Pontus Holmberg. Holmberg tries to flip it in along the boards a little further. Then McCabe was able to keep it in. He'll work down the left wing board. Dropping it back for Holmberg, coming to the front with a backhand. There's a loose puck in the goal crease. And they knock it in around back of the net, and a penalty, or a whistle. And a penalty coming here. Brandon Blandini and Garrett Rank are the referees tonight. And James Tobin and...
Detroit penalty number 50 has 2 minutes for slashing.
Jonathan Deshaw are the linesmen, and the first penalty goes to Detroit, the first power play to the Maple Leafs, and it's brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Goalie interference penalty coming up to Austin Matthews. So the Leafs 0 for 1 on 5 seconds of power play time.
Don't you think it should be
Toronto
a percentage of total minutes?
2 minutes.
Here's a great example.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, you can do it. Number of goals scored based on 2 minutes of power play time, right?
Yeah.
Because then where it gets a little screwy too, power play and shorthanded, even plus minus, is when the goalie is pulled late in the game, which affects some of the numbers, maybe not accurately.
So after Shine took the Detroit penalty, Matthews gets a penalty here for Toronto. So both teams are going to have abbreviated power play opportunities. Now the Red Wings bringing it in on the left wing with a shot, and off the stick of the defender Riley. It caroms up into the screen, out of play.
Boy, TJ Brody tried to stand up and make the play at center and got danced. And that allowed the odd man rush, and Morgan Riley sprawling, just gets it off the heel of his skate as he is face down sliding in front of Samson on, so the face off to the right of the Leaf goaltender.
4-on-4 for another minute 37.
And really, for the most part, what you want to do is get out of these next 2 games healthy.
Marner strides into his own zone, brings it to center, dropping it back now. Nylander sifts in over the line, nicely played into the corner to himself. Still has it, comes out of the corner with a shot. That was kicked away by Lyon. And the Red Wings will bring it back. Nate Danielson has it stripped away. Marner's in over the line. He stops up, gets it into the slot. Nylander to the net and scores! I really like him on the wing more than center.
I like anybody with Mitch Marner. As Marner sifts over the Red Wing line on the left wing side, then pulls up and waits for Nylander coming late. And Willie Nylander showing all kinds of patience. Fakes like he's going to shoot from the top of the right wing circle in, then holds on, and then the deep forehand to backhand. His Lion came well out of the net. I mean, Willie Nylander just sold the shot. And everybody kept waiting for the rebound, but Nylander holds on to it and gives the Leafs a 1-0 lead, 3:24 into this game.
First goal scored 4-on-4 in the preseason. Yarncrook back in his own zone, gives it off to Brody. Brody's going to send it deeper to Riley, and now bringing it out at center ice is Domi. Max Domi to the line, trying to stiff into the slot area, but unable to get to it was Yarncrook. And the Red Wings bring it back. Here's Justin Hall, the former Leaf, getting it back into the slot. Unable to shoot it was Casper. Back behind the net for Hall. Hall holds, got the shot in on goal, and Samsonov is able to smother it without a rebound. And a face-off coming in the Toronto end. So it'll be Nylander from Marner. And for Willie Nylander, that's his first goal of the preseason.
Great patience, great move by Marner, and then Willie Nylander is able to finish it off.
First assist for Marner in the preseason as well.
And this is a game, with all due respect to the Red Wings and the players that are in the line, this is a game the Leafs should control start to finish, based on the talent available for both.
Played to the blue line. Red Wings keep it in. Near side, Rafferty with a shot that was blocked. You'll get a second opportunity. Sends it in along the boards. Chip back into the slot area off a stick, and it's going to go down into the Detroit zone. Red Wings with their traditional Detroit jerseys, wearing the whites with the red trim here tonight, as it is chipped down into the zone, and Matthews is back on. So both penalty killing units are outstanding so far, with killing off 5 seconds of power play time each. Played high into the right wing corner in the Detroit zone. Puck comes around to the near wing, and the Red Wings will get it up on the boards. McCabe trying to pinch to keep it in. It squirts to center ice, and Liljegren will launch it high into the right wing corner. David Camp goes in on the forecheck. Reeves arrives in the pass in front. Holmberg was completely shocked by it because it went right between his legs, nowhere near his stick. Leafs with it back in their own zone. Now up to Pontus Holmberg. A long alley-oop goes in wide of the Detroit goal. Reeves got there first but couldn't make a play, and the Red Wings are going to break it out into the center ice area, chipping it down into the Toronto zone. Here's Costin in now, trying to come to the front of the net, and a good sprawling play made by the Leaf defense as Brody was able to knock it away. Now the puck back into the slot. A shot, scores! A drive from the point by Shane Gostisbehere. And the Red Wings tie the game on a shot from right at the blue line. And is it Danielson who may have gotten his stick on it?
Well, Red Wings control the boards in the Leaf zone. And we saw Montreal scored, 2 or 3 goals like this last game? Just a simple point shot and a redirection. You're right. I think this is Danielson. The high slot. It was about chest high that it was redirected down and past Ilya Samsonov. But yeah, that's how the Leafs really were the better team over the Canadiens a couple of nights ago in this building. But Montreal capitalizes on some redirection on point shots and ended up coming back to win it in overtime.
Nylander circles in front of his own goal. Got it up ahead for Giordano. Giordano couldn't return the favor, and the Red Wings have played it down into the Toronto end. Liljegren blows a tire, and the Red Wings have the puck in the offensive zone, but a centering pass went astray. At the blue line, Gostisbehere dropping it back as it goes over on the left wing side, and a shot is gloved by goaltender Ilya Samsonov, and that will stop play and take us to our first commercial break. The Leafs won and the Red Wings won. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
2-for-1 Pizza is taking it up a notcho with new 2-for-1 nachos and Irish nachos for just $9.99 each. Enjoy the 2-for-1 nachos with corn tortilla chips, or try the...
Let's listen up here, boys. Everybody listen up here now.
Shorzy is back, and it's only on Crave.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys.
A new season of setting the tone.
Who's going to set the tone? You got to set the tone.
Chirping.
If those visors come any darker, I can still kind of see how ugly you are.
And a chance to make history.
They can be the best team in the league this year, or they can be the best team in the league ever.
Shorzy, new season. Stream now. Only on Crave. Subscribe now at crave.ca. Plan starting at $9.99 a month.
Has one of the longest standing rosters in the league. No surprise. Maple Toyota is an award-winning dealership and offers competitive pay, amazing training, and exciting career opportunities. No one sits on the bench. Everyone scores. Maple Toyota runs on all cylinders. Do you? If you'd like to join the Maple Toyota team, apply today at mapletoyota.com.
The job market isn't changing. It's already changed. New technologies are creating new jobs and eliminating others. How can you prepare for this new world of work? With the York University School of Continuing Studies program. Our programs are developed with industry experts and enable you to upskill and reskill quickly. You'll also gain access to our career services to help pursue your ambitions. Get hired in fields like accounting, big data, cybersecurity, digital marketing, customer success management, and cloud ops. Learn more at continue.yorku.ca.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream your favorite shows in your car. Available on Apple CarPlay via the iHeartRadio app. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it.
Face-off coming in the Leaf zone, brought to you by Alpine Credits. You own your own home and need a loan? Alpine Credits can help. Get approved at alpinecredits.ca. Shots are 6-5 in favor of Toronto. Game tied 1-1. Danielson's tip of a Goss-Despair shot. And Nylander, set up nicely by Marner, are the scoring plays. Domi.
Remember when Goss-Despair went to Carolina last year? Put up some big offensive numbers right off the bat.
We put numbers up offensively for the Philadelphia Flyers, too, when he first came up, right?
Yeah, not as much with Arizona. But yeah, when he came out,
traveled, isn't he?
Certainly gives the Red Wings some depth on the blue line.
Draw scrummed and then controlled by the Maple Leafs. Domi works to the left wing, fed it ahead to find Tavares. Return pass for Domi, gets to the line and just to the line, kept in there. All right, I lied.
I don't think,
offside.
I don't think you did.
Well, I thought it was on. I thought it was okay too. McCabe thinks it was all right.
Having a word with the linesman.
Face-off just outside the Detroit blue line, and the Red Wings control the draw. Joe Valeno winning the face-off. Nylander on the boards on the far side, trying to get some assistance from Benoit as it goes deeper into the Detroit end. Red Wings play it off the glass, chipped out at center, cut off there by Tavares to Domi. Domi playing it down into the left wing corner for the captain. Tavares goes in there after it. Domi trying to assist, able to dig the puck free and does. Now here's a chance that Järnkrok couldn't get it in front of the net as the Leafs are in the midst of a change. Now Brody on the far boards in the corner in the Detroit zone, draws it into the slot area, near side Riley, and his shot looking for a redirect, and Järnkrok couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Mint, sends it to the net, that's blocked. Grabbed off by Nyes, trying to center, and it was blocked before it reached Järnkrok in front. The Red Wings get rid of it down the ice, but it will... I lied again. Goes for ice, and it'll come back into the Detroit zone.
Well, it might just be preseason, but there's been undeniable chemistry between Matthew Nyes and his line mate, Fraser Minton. Especially, I mean, even on the penalty kill, we saw that in Montreal. They really seem to have feel for where the other guy is going to be on the ice. And a year ago, I'm not so sure you'd be looking at those two players as guys that possibly play together, let alone play in the Toronto Maple Leafs this year.
Well, they've been hanging with one another. They're virtually the same age. And the Leafs trying to keep the puck in and do. Along the wall, played in around the boards, far side. Reeves will let Riley get to it first. Morgan Riley tries to center, and it was on goal, and Lyon had to kick it aside. Leafs after it again as Reeves sends it back behind the net. David Kampf swinging it back to the blue line. Morgan Riley trying to take it off the boards to get a forehander away, had it deflect out at center ice. Here's Reeves coming, or at least Brody coming to center and across the line, looking on the far side. A backhand in front of the net by Bertuzzi, and that didn't connect as Matthews was there. Played to the blue line, but not into the Toronto zone. Now sent in on a delayed offside. Red Wings are going to clear, and the puck is turned over. Kept alive now by Detroit. Lombardi plays it off on the left wing side, and a shot from the blue line is blocked and cleared now by Toronto down into the Detroit zone. Played 9 minutes in the first period, and we're tied 1-1. Red Wings in on the right side. Trying to drop it back. The puck is turned over, and Matthews gets it ahead for Marner. Marner to the line and in, slows up. Still with it, playing in front of the goal. Matthews backhand, and that was just off the mark wide. He had to spin to accept the pass from Marner, and by the time he sent the backhand, he probably has gone a little bit too far. Puck in the center ice area. Red Wings in across the line. Goss-Despair. Bouncing puck sent into the corner by Danielson. It came in front of the net. Red Wings getting to it on the near boards. Will play back into the corner. Leafs come away with it. Benoit unable to slow it up. Now he's able to deflect it, though, and get it out at center. Nylander will pressure the defense, but the Red Wings regroup it and still have control of it in their own zone. Gostisbehere coming out, quick up on the left wing, gets into the Toronto zone, and a shot from a sharp angle is deflected up into the screen, out of play. With 9:50 to play in period number 1. The Leafs won and the Red Wings won. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leaf Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I run at sonic speeds, but I'm not as quick as the fastest computer. And that's exactly what Sam needed. She runs
foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down!
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
An IT firm and needed an upgrade. Within 24 hours, she was approved for a business loan. After, I stuck around to play some online games. My legs might be fast, but my thumbs, even faster.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Just for license 12616. Treat your family to the best. Get Pizzaville's 2 medium, 4 toppings combined for $23.73. This week, make it even better. Add 12 wings for only $12.73. Call 416-736-3636 or order at pizzaville.ca.
All right, everyone. Step up and down. Left foot, right foot. You're climbing up a trail. Now back in your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and getting active in the real world. Work those abs. Driving right through the mud and left and right. Keep that core engaged and bend at the knees as you load more to your Subaru. Windows down. Take in that outdoor air and park.
Get more value out of every kilometer at your local Subaru dealer, starting with award-winning safety.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Face off in the Toronto zone. 9:50 to play in the first period. And a 1-1 tie between the Red Wings and the Maple Leafs. Another good crowd on hand here with, again, not a season ticket group. So we expect there'll be a little more vocal appreciation. Puck in the center ice area. Nyes, bodied. Puck comes off the boards. Minton sent it in over the line. And now the Red Wings get it back at center, and it is Riley regrouping the puck and now has it handed back to him. Riley up ahead for Nyes, deflected it into the zone. Minton goes into the corner after it. Minton playing it back of the net for Nyes. Nyes into the far corner, comes out of the corner with it, centered in front. Oh, he had Reeves there, but it didn't reach him. It was just knocked away in the nick of time there by Detroit. Giordano off the boards, too far for Reeves. Brought back by the Red Wings and fed into the Toronto end. Holmberg circles the goal. Interference call coming here. Did one of the defensemen, Benoit, maybe try to give him a little more time?
Yeah, Benoit trying to run a little bit of interference, running in behind the net.
2-minute minor for interference.
Simone Benoit may end up on the Leafs opening roster. I mean, John Klingberg still has not skated the last week or so. Connor Timmins is listed as week to week for the injury he suffered. The Leafs might be in a very similar position that they were last year, where they lost Jake Muzzin, Morgan Riley, and that's why you saw so many players from Victor Mete to Jordy Ben get opportunities in the Leaf lineup.
Penalty kill.
Sorry, Joey, and why they had to get Timmins.
Here's a shot, scores right off the hop. Wrist shot by Jonathan Berggren. And the Red Wings score quickly with the man advantage and have a 2-1 lead. And the penalty kill, which really wasn't very good, brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks.
Well, it would appear that they can get through 5 seconds to the penalty kill, as we saw earlier. But not here, as Bergeron just simply takes the pass, left-handed shot, takes the pass to the right wing circle. Looks up, sips to change the angle, and Ilya Samsonov maybe down a little early as it sneaked past the short side, and the Red Wings have taken a 2-1 lead.
Here's Matthews stealing in the near corner. Works out of the corner with it, back to the blue line. Tried to send it around to the far side. Brody is there. Side of the net now for Bertuzzi. Back it goes to Brody. Cross ice to Riley at the point. He'll try to send it in, but Matthews had it knocked off his stick. Matthews comes out of a scrum to get it freed up. Missed a pass there to Marner. Back into the slot area, and Riley is shot from the blue line, and that went wide of the net. Matthews trying to keep it in. Does back of the net for Marner. Marner plays it off the back of the goal to himself into the near corner. Comes out of it to the slot area. Unable to shoot it was Riley. Sends it back into the corner for Giordano. Now to Matthews. Trying to get a shot to the net. Bertuzzi trying to provide a screen. And the puck comes to center ice now. And the Leafs will try to get a change of players going as Liljegren starts it back towards the offensive zone. Trying to flip a pass in there to Tavares, but it's going to be an icing call against the Maple Leafs, and back into the Toronto zone it will come. Gostisbehere gets the assist on the goal, and Hirosa as well.
The Detroit Red Wings had a stretch where they made the playoffs 25 years in a row. That was snapped 7 years ago, so they've gone 7 without. I'll ask you this. Can you think of the last top 3 pick the Red Wings have had in the draft?
No.
I've got it. Yeah. I'm obviously asking because I know.
No, I cannot. A shot from the short side almost stuck in behind goaltender Samsonov. Long pass, left wing side. Red Wings around back of the net. Stop. Trying to come back out in front of the net was Edmondson. It comes back to the blue line. Hall got a shot to the near side and a pass in front, and just missing it was Wallander in the slot area. Hall with it again, and a shot from a sharp angle has stopped the rebound. Goes wide, and goaltender Samsonov is without his goal stick. And the Leafs finally get the puck out at center ice, but Samsonov can't go and get it. Here the Red Wings back in. Good save there with the pad by Samsonov. Puck at the side of the net, and they're going to get it to the goaltender, and Samsonov will cover it up to allow him to get the old cue back in his hands.
This is really back-to-back games now where the Leafs have iced a fairly full lineup and cannot handle weaker lineups from the opposition. We talked about this earlier. One thing you'd like to see change is the Leafs have better success against non-playoff teams in the regular season. Probably the best games they played were maybe the back-to-back games in Montreal, 2 different squads, but no big stars in those games when they beat the Canadiens.
Minton sends it into the Detroit zone. The goaltender, Lyon, had a bit of trouble in back of the net. Leafs trying to take advantage of it, having it in the offensive zone. McCabe playing it back of the net. Minton is hauled down. Puck still free. Nyes comes out of the scrum with it. Centering pass. Nylander with a shot, and he fed it wide on the short side. Minton getting involved there with a good hit on Brogan Rafferty. And the Red Wings now get it out and down into the Leaf end. 5:56 to go, first period. 2-1 Detroit. Holmberg couldn't deflect it deep into Red Wing territory. Played to the Toronto zone. Nicely moved there, and a wrist shot then taken one over top of the net off the stick of Costin. You know, you talk about seeing numbers and people that you wonder about. 24 on the Red Wings.
Probert?
Yes, indeed. Rolling puck down into the offensive zone for the Maple Leafs. Played to an open wing. Holmberg stumbled and couldn't get there, and now Brody has to come back to center ice. Bouncing puck in the air is swatted down into Detroit territory by Reeves. Back of the net goes Camp. Tried to kick it to Reeves. That didn't work. Red Wings will get it to their blue line and get it out at center. And now McCabe regrouping for Toronto.
By the way, I'll give you the name or the year. 1990 was the last time the Red Wings had a top 3 pick in the NHL draft. Keith Primo.
Wow.
That's scary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, scary for that stretch as to how good the Red Wings were.
Shot down into the Toronto zone. Red Wings back to the goal. Lombardi getting it back towards the blue line. Kept in by the defense. It comes around to the near boards in the Toronto zone. Liljegren got it up on the wing, and now Matthews trying to get it out, failing. Here's Hall sending it back into the corner. Centering pass right in front. Rook into the goal crease. Diving across Samsonov. And the puck is still free. Back to the point it comes. Here the Red Wings with it again in front, and swiping at it there was Bertuzzi, but didn't make contact. Red Wings center once more. Back to the point. Another shot coming, and it's deflected wide of the Leaf net.
Samsonov has lost his stick again.
Here's a loose puck into the slot area. Marner couldn't get it. That was knocked up on the boards, but now played out by the Red Wings back into the Detroit zone. Boy, and the Red Wings have gotten it down in the Toronto end. They've had some good zone time and pressure. And an offside at the Toronto blue line will stop play with 3:32 left to go here in period number 1. Detroit with 10 of the 18 shots on goal in the period and a 2-1 lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This is an important message from Canadian Blood Services. Our national blood supply is at very low levels. Hospitals are conserving the use of certain blood types.
Foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down.
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
So don't pay more to feed the crowd. Freshco, lowering food prices. See in store for details.
Treat your family to the best. Get Pizzaville's 2 medium, 4 toppings combined for $23.73. This week, make it even better. Add 12 wings for only $12.73. Call 416-736-3636 or order at pizzaville.ca.
Salespeople are not likely to consistently implement a particular selling strategy or technique, regardless of how effective it may be, unless it's part of an overall behavioral plan. And they're not likely to implement a behavioral plan unless it's supported by the appropriate attitude and outlook. At Train West Online Academy, our sales training and development program addresses all areas necessary for your success. If you're deadly serious about improving your skills, go to trainwest.ca to learn more. trainwest.ca.
Making your lousy commute fun. Overdrive with Hayes Noodles and the O-Dog every weekday, 4 to 7 p.m. on TSN 1050.
Power play goal by the Detroit Red Wings midway through the period is the difference. They have a 2-1 lead here in the first period. 3:32 to play. Tavares, Domi, Nylander for the Maple Leafs as it is fired into the Toronto zone. McCabe chipping it back in along the boards in a maze of legs, fed ahead, and Domi played it back to his defense, and Benoit was unable to handle the pass. Now Tavares trying to get it up on the wing. Domi couldn't reach it, kept alive by the Red Wings, and into the corner it goes. Hannes around back of the net, picked off by McCabe, and McCabe will try to ring the boards with it to find Nylander, who makes a nice little touch pass to get it to Tavares, who then stumbled as he got into the offensive zone. Brought back by Rafferty. Rafferty in on the right side. Played along the boards and into the corner. And Tavares will get it freed up, and Domi starts out of his own end. Launched high into the right wing corner. I think everybody's in a foul sense of humor since last night. Back of the net, the Red Wings organizing. Got it ahead. Brought to the line and in by Edmondson. Played into the slot area, trying to get a shot away and fanning on it completely. It was Joe Veleno. Leafs bring it back the other way. Holmberg in, and a penalty coming to Detroit, I believe. I think it's a hook, although it was a little late call.
But you are right.
Frank.
Yeah, it is in fact a hook. And the Leafs were impressive the first couple of shifts of this game.
Number 85 has 2 minutes for hooking.
Soderblom is going to go for the Red Wings, but Leafs were out shooting Detroit 4-0 when they took the lead at 3:24. The power play goal by Willie Nylander. But since then, it's been a bit of a mud fight, hasn't it?
Elmer Soderblom in the box. Power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke. Leafs playing it in front of the net. Tavares dropping it back to the blue line. Out. Riley in front. It goes. Tavares tried to get a shot away and fanned on it. Nylander is able to recover the loose puck down in front of the goal, and Tavares set up by Marner, and it went off the heel of his stick and went wide harmlessly. Here's Marner working out of the near corner. Back to Willie. Willie across ice past Matthews with a drive, and that went high over top of the net. Kept alive by Nylander on the near half wall. Nylander down low to Marner. Marner works back to the blue line. Riley one time over on the far side, and a shot taken by Matthews is gloved by Alex Lyon and held. Matthews decided instead of the one-timer to cradle it and get a wrist shot away. By then, that allowed Lyon to come across.
Yeah, he did try to change the angle, a little bit of a toe drag, and trying to go short side over the left shoulder of Lyon, but the Red Wing goaltender read it perfectly.
Minute 22 left in the period. Minute 13 in the power play. Riley dropping it back. Matthews comes to the red line on the left wing for Tavares. Tavares runs out of real estate but gets it back to Riley. Far side Nylander closing, doesn't shoot it, back to Riley. Shooting, blockered nicely by Lyon, and it gets elevated up into the screen and out of play. 10th shot on goal for Toronto.
And with 53 seconds left in the power play, Sheldon Keefe is going to throw out the second unit. And this is always what I find interesting, and it is, in fact, it'll be Kelly Yarncroc coming out with Bertuzzi.
Domi.
And Matthew Knies on the far side. Domi and Liljegren on the points.
Draw one by Toronto. Liljegren to Domi. Domi holds, got a shot away. Pad save made by Lyon. Puck in along the boards. Bertuzzi trying to muscle it in front. Took a high stick. Going to be another penalty here. And the Leafs have an extra man on, and a shot knocked away by Lyon. And there is the whistle. And so the Leafs are going to get a 5-on-3 for 35 seconds. 43 seconds remain in the period.
Detroit penalty number 92 has 2-minute minor penalty for high sticking.
They didn't even do the courtesy search to survey the damage of Bertuzzi when this happened.
Well, he lost a tooth, didn't he? Oh, no, wait, that's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to keep a spare that you can spit out on cue.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
Oh.
Shot down the ice by the Red Wings, who won the faceoff. Half minute to go in the period. Nylander sifts in over the line to Tavares on the left wing boards. Dropped it back for Riley, who just did keep it in. Into the slot for Willie. Down low, pass intercepted, shot down the ice. Samsonov trying to play up and does. Marner across the line for Tavares. Tavares circles into the corner, center in front, they score! Matthews with the one-timer. Heads up play by goaltender Samsonov, reading the clock and making sure they had some extra time.
Started on a nice play at the left wing boards right inside the Red Wing blue line. And the Leafs funneled it down low, and Mitch Marner, a one-time pass from the corner to the right of goaltender Alex Lyon out to Austin Matthews at the top of the left wing circle, and Matthews with the quick release. And you're right, this all starts with Ilya Samsonov throwing it up ice, where Tavares to Marner to Matthews as this game tied at 2 late in the opening period.
1952 on a 5-on-3, and the Maple Leafs will have. No, I guess they won't have a power play. No,
yeah,
it was a 5-on-4, right? Yeah.
Well, it was actually right on. 17:52 is the time of the penalty. 19:52 the time of the goal.
So the Maple Leafs tie the game on their 13th shot on goal in the period. And Austin Matthews has got his first preseason tally. And it's a 2-2 tie after 20 minutes of play. Jim Taddy, Frankie Corrado coming by with the first period intermission. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
2-for-1 Pizza is taking it up a notcho with new 2-for-1 nachos and Irish nachos for just $9.99 each. Enjoy the 2-for-1 nachos with corn tortilla chips or try the Irish.
Foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down.
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
Nachos with potato wedges. Both come loaded with nacho cheese sauce, mozzarella cheese, tomatoes, green peppers, red onions, and jalapeno peppers. Add the 2-for-1 special featuring 2 medium pizzas with 4 toppings combined for only $20.99 plus tax. Order online at 2for1pizza.com.
The Diamond Solitaire is the quintessential engagement ring.
A simple gold band elevates the diamond, profoundly elegant.
That diamond is the symbol of a lifelong commitment.
Right now, a truly fantastic 3/4 carat created diamond solitaire style number 1111 is just $2,399. Michael, tell them about the freedom we give them.
When you buy a Diamond Solitaire from Spence Diamonds, you are free to change the mounting style of your solitaire toward any other style of ring within 1 year of the date of purchase, and we will credit you with the full value of the mounting you trade in, which means you can choose from 154 different styles of solitaires.
154 different styles.
You heard the part about the $2,399, didn't you? For 3/4 carat for solitaire style 1111.
We want you to be happy.
We want you to live happily ever after.
It's a great time to get engaged.
It's always a great time to get engaged.
Spence. Located in Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
This is the sound of medicine. When you stay at a Ronald McDonald House, close to your sick child, family is medicine. And right now, it's helping Ryan battle leukemia. We need your help to keep families together. Please donate today at rmhc.ca.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, it still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. When you see the green check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights. eBay Motors has millions of parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Hi, Zach here from Speedy Glass. Got a chip in your windshield? Don't wait until it spreads. Get it repaired now by Speedy Glass experts. Why? Because it's $0 if you're insured for glass damage, and we offer one of the most reliable windshield repair services on the market in less than 60 minutes. Save time and money without compromising quality. Book your appointment today at speedyglass.ca. Certain conditions and exceptions apply. Details at speedyglass.ca.
Speedy Glass Repair. Speedy Glass Replace.
Let's hear your pitch.
How would you like to invest in a project with a 90% success rate?
A unicorn, is it?
Unicorns aren't real, but 90% of our people report a positive outcome.
Where's this data from?
We asked thousands of BGC club kids.
Thorough.
Yeah, 90% of kids involved with BGC Canada say they make better choices because of a club.
That's unbelievable impact. Where do I sign?
BGC Canada. Opportunity changes everything.com.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream your favorite shows on your smart speaker. Simply tell your smart speaker to listen to TSN 1050 everywhere you want it. Live from Scotiabank Arena, you're listening to The Intermission Show on the Leafs Radio Network. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey is on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network. The Leafs live here.
Marner across the line for Tavares. Tavares circles into the corner, center in front, they score! Matthews with a one-timer. Heads-up play by goaltender Samsonov, reading the clock and making sure they had some extra time.
2-2 after 20 minutes of play. Leafs and Red Wings. Interesting story in that period. TSN After 20 is brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke, Guy.
Love it, Guy.
More karaoke.
Have you thought of your favorite karaoke song yet?
I like listening. It's like broadcasting. I like reporting. I don't need to play. I don't need to sing. Okay, Guy?
Jimmy, no one likes listening to karaoke, just like star players don't like playing in the preseason, but they have to do it anyways, don't they?
So what did I say as the puck was dropped to start the game? Leafs should win on power plays alone, and based on the rosters.
Well, sure enough, they got 2 power play goals, and Willie Nylander's first goal of the game was coming off a 4-on-4 situation, but I thought Willie had a lot of jump early on in this game, like both ways. He had a couple back checks where he takes the puck away, then he gets back up in the rush, and we saw this last year in the preseason, and I know sometimes you play against some inferior opponents in the preseason, but I'd rather him still play well, and it's almost like he took himself to another level last year. You can start to see the signs of that this year, and we all know what's at stake for Willie with the contract last year of his deal. We know that he wants a lot of money. Well, if you want a lot of money, you have to be a consistent point producer right from day one. And Willie, with a nice goal tonight, looks like he's getting ready to start the season on the right foot. I like seeing him on the wing, though. For me, he's not a centerman. He's a winger. He looks way more comfortable tonight in this game than he has looked throughout the preseason thus far.
So does that mean that center thing is off? It's done?
Listen, if it's up to me, I would never put him back at center again, but it's not up to me. Sheldon Keefe and the brass here, they're going to make that decision. I would imagine at some point here when Fraser Minton, once they make the decision on what they're going to do with him, does he go back to junior? Does he stay? He's probably going back to junior at some point sooner rather than later. What do you do there? Is Willie a third-line center? Because now you still have a void in on the second line with who's that winger going to be? It's not Sam Lafferty for me. That's William Nylander's spot.
Right.
So there's still some decisions up in the air. All I can tell you is Willie is much more comfortable on the wing than he is at center. He has the physical tools to play center, but he just doesn't have the genetic kind of makeup as a hockey player to be a center ice player.
So, we could go on about what happened in the first period. The Red Wings spent a lot of time in the Leaf zone. I don't think that matters. The question that comes out of it is because this is really close to a starting lineup for the Leafs that they'll ice next Monday night, which you'll listen to right here on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network, then I'm just wondering if they're sort of sorting things out and understanding that they're probably not going to play a lot of these guys on Saturday night to finish this off.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, and the preseason is too long anyways. You can cut it down way more, but what they've done is they've given enough players within this group opportunities to show what they can do, and now you've reached the point in the preseason where you're just kind of infusing everyone now. You got your players that are going to be on the team. You got a couple guys that you're putting in situations here to see what they have within that group, and a couple of those players looked pretty good in that period. Guys, I'm talking about Matthew Nyes. 2 minutes into the game, he gets on a good forecheck, and he disrupts a pass. Puck goes to Fraser Minton. He knocks it out of the air. Good opportunity on net. Put a check mark next to that shift. Go back to the bench. One of the things I'm noticing with Matthew Nyes' game, when he first came up last year, he liked to challenge sticks of the opposition. So what I mean by that is he's in a one-on-two situation, a one-on-one situation. He was going to try and put it through the defenseman's triangle and beat that player one-on-one. And there were times where he was turning the puck over against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And as a young player, the first thing the coach is going to tell you when you go back to the bench is that blue line is decision time. Where is the ice to be had? Is it behind the player or is it in front of the defenseman? I'm seeing Matthew Nyes recognize that way quicker than he did last year, and he's not been afraid to put it behind players and go pursue the puck. Call it possession versus pursuit. He is choosing pursuit right now, and it looks better on him, and Fraser Minton is reading off him quite nicely. The two of them have a good little thing going. Like, Fraser Minton kind of plays this pro-style game already.
Right.
His game is going to be very suited to jumping up into the NHL when that time comes.
I think that's the best news possible, is that Nyes could mature over the summer going into his first full NHL season. I mean, I would consider that bonus material.
Big time. And you know what? It just kind of goes to show you that a young player is very coachable, and he's listening to what they're telling him, and he's applying it on the ice. Because, you know, if you have this pedigree, let's call it, as a young player, and you make the jump, you're like, wait a second, I know how good I am because I did all these things, and that's what got me to this point. But you get to the NHL, and you need to adapt because it's such a good league, and it's such a fine line as far as being a successful player and being a player that fizzles out. You take the sort of constructive criticism that your coaches have for you, you learn from it, you watch video, you get back out there, and you show them that you can apply those changes, and it looks like he's doing that so far. So, you know, the next video session that comes around, whether it's the assistant coach that grabs you after practice, he's going to show you, okay, these are two examples that I saw in the first period against Detroit. You did exactly what we're talking about. There's another check mark for you. Great job. Keep it up.
You know, it is difficult for the Leafs because we're launching into the regular season. And as we learned over the years, the regular season is one thing, the playoffs are another. And I might take that a step further and say the preseason is one thing, the regular season is another, and then the playoffs. I mean, I think that this has been a very successful camp based on everything we've seen.
It's been successful in the sense that you've had some players stand out that you maybe weren't expecting. I think Matthew Nyes, a lot of people expected him to be on this team. I don't know if they expected him to have a so-called dominant training camp, right? Fraser Minton is one of those guys that you pretty much had penciled in. Come play a few exhibition games, grab your hoodie and your T-shirt, and go back to Kamloops and have a great season. But he's kind of thrust himself onto the scene here. As far as the group that's going to be playing here, like the main guys, we're starting to see them come to life a little bit tonight. Austin Matthews scores a goal in the dying seconds of that period off a great feed from Mitch Marner. Mitch has been great in the preseason. I think Willie's been great. We're seeing some players, though, that need to elevate their level to get ready because next Wednesday is not far away, and then it's for real. And there's some players, I think, that are just a half a step behind at this point, and it's up to them to use whatever's left of this game, and if they play on Saturday, to get themselves ready for Game 1 of the regular season.
It's tied at 2, Detroit and Toronto after 20 minutes of play. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations.
We're gonna build a train so big, it can't be stopped.
Add stars to a Crave subscription and get the explosive new season of Power Book 4, Force.
Egan is too dangerous to be left alive. Tommy, you're gonna get what you deserve today.
Tommy Egan is back, and he's badder than ever.
They're gonna regret the day they tried to play us. Chicago's a violent city. Game over.
Power Book 4, Force. Stream now on Stars. Also available on Crave.
NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Do more in a reliable Subaru, they said. Enjoy more time together to go more places with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, they said. More award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing. Nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
It's so cold in here.
You're blocking the fan.
Can you toss me that blanket?
Okay, who turned up the heat? Because it's a sauna in here.
Did you hear me? I'm a popsicle.
My blanket needs a blanket.
Open
blanket. Just a few degrees lower.
You may never agree on the perfect temperature, but agree on a smart thermostat. It can learn your preferences and adjusts automatically to keep the whole family comfy from anywhere, anytime. Until October 31st, get $100 off popular smart thermostat models else and save instantly before you buy. Terms and conditions apply. Visit enbridgegas.com/smartthermostat.
Thinking about investing? Need insurance advice? Cooperators can help. So if you need our next car should totally be a convertible investment plan, or but our son will want to drive it too, insurance plan. We do both. Cooperators. Investing in your future together. Mutual funds and related investment products are offered through Cooperators Financial Investment Services, Inc. Terms and conditions apply.
All the colors and flavors of a bountiful fall harvest are arriving daily at Farm Boy. Canadian fruit and vegetable crops are picked at the peak of dewy freshness and rushed to your local Farm Boy store to be proudly displayed for you. Join the fall celebration around the harvest table at Farm Boy. And remember, for fresh, never frozen Ontario Thanksgiving turkey, Ontario smoked ham, and all the convenience of chef-prep sides, Farm Boy freshness turns a dinner into a feast. Treat your family to the best. Get Pizzaville's 2 medium, 4 toppings combined for $23.73. This week, make it even better. Add 12 wings for only $12.73. Call 416-736-3636 or order at pizzaville.ca.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard brought to you by Maple Toyota. Build your next dream Toyota at Maple Toyota. And check out Maple Toyota's pre-owned inventory arriving daily. It's time to Toyota. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have in the NHL on this particular night as we go around the Out-of-Town Scoreboard. And the scores will read something like this based on the fact that my scoreboard is down. So we're in a bit of a problem here. Let me just tell you that in terms of the Leafs, it is 2-2 after 20 minutes of play, and we now have the scoreboard. There we go. Washington 2-1 over Columbus. That's in the second period. Rangers 1-0 over the Bruins. That's in the first. End of the first. Panthers and Lightning tied at one end of the first. Flyers 2-1 over the Islanders. And that's it. Thanks for bearing with us. 2-2 Leafs and Red Wings after 20 minutes of play. The second period is next. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
Whatever the weather, CMC Markets is here to help. Planning for a rainy day? Enjoy $0 commission on U.S. and Canadian share CFDs. Riding out the storm? Get a
foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down.
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
Has one of the longest standing rosters in the league. No surprise. Maple Toyota is an award-winning dealership and offers competitive pay, amazing training, and exciting career opportunities. No one sits on the bench. Everyone scores. Maple Toyota runs on all cylinders. Do you? If you'd like to join the Maple Toyota team, apply today at mapletoyota.com.
Bonjour.
Hello.
Voudriez-vous apprendre une autre langue?
Would you like to learn another language?
Comme l'italiano?
Like Italian.
O español?
Or Spanish. With Babbel, learning a language is
fácil.
Easy. Lessons take just 10 minutes a day and are voiced by real native speakers designed for all levels of learners. Right now, Babbel is offering radio listeners 55% off their subscription. Visit babbel.com/radio. That's BABBEL.com/radio for 55% off.
He's a no-nonsense diner owner from a small town.
Howdy, ma'am. How you doing?
She's a rich city girl with everything.
You've got to be kidding me. A cold latte?
But when she loses everything and must move back home, they both...
Yeah. Everyone knows what happens. They both fall in love with unlimited internet from $40 a month after credits for 12 months with Virgin Plus. Obviously. Conditions apply. Visit a Virgin Plus store or virginplus.ca for details. Also, obviously.
First up with Korolnik and Koliakovo. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last. Back here at Scotiabank Arena, the Leafs and the Detroit Red Wings are tied 2-2. Each team has scored a power play goal. Nylander and Matthews getting the Maple Leaf tallies. Nate Danielson and Jonathan Berggren scoring for Detroit. Leafs to the left and the Red Wings to the right as Marner brings it in over the line. He'll roll it around back of the net to the far corner. Bertuzzi got there to get a skate on it to keep it in. Comes back to the blue line. Now to Riley, a pass into the slot. Matthews, a shot right on. Good blocker save made by Lyon. The puck on the far side. Veleno getting it out at center. And Riley turns back up ice for Toronto. He'll regroup now with TJ Brody. To Riley, and off the stick of Bertuzzi, it's back into the Detroit end. These two teams will finish the preseason schedule with a game on Saturday night in Detroit. Played around back of the net, centered in front, knocked away nicely by Domi. Fed ahead, and Nylander on the right wing brings it to the line. Slows up, plays into the corner for Tavares. Tavares back of the net. Domi trying to help out, but the puck is dug free by Berggren and will be played out and down the ice and on the fresh ice. Icing going to be called here against the Red Wings.
Now, you think safe to assume Joe Wall gets the full game in Detroit in a couple of nights?
I'm assuming that's what the schedule would be.
I was impressed enough with what we saw from Joe Wall last year to say that I do not concede the number one spot to Ilya Samsonov. Not saying he's not capable, but I'm saying there's some competition.
Right wing side, Liljegren, a pass into the goal crease. They bang away at another shot. Oh, good pad save by the left leg of Lyon. That was Yarncrook who got it away. Yarncrook keeping it in. It goes around back of the net for Nyes. He used his body nicely there to shield the puck. Then Liljegren against the boards trying to keep it alive. That's drawn a crowd. Minton with a shot. That went high over top of the net and has exploded all the way back to center ice. McCabe finds Liljegren. Liljegren got it ahead into the center ice area. Flipped in by Nyes. Minton into the forecheck. And it'll be played to center ice. And now David Camp brings it right back in again as the Leafs are in the midst of a change. For Fraser Minton to make this team, and there's lots of conjecture about that, what he has to be able to prove is that he can be dependable defensively. And that is always any young player that comes into this league the biggest challenge. Yeah, there are a lot of good offensive players, and they are all picked high in the draft because of that wonderful skill as we get an offside at the Toronto blue line. But you have to prove to the coach that I can put you out on the ice and you can do the job in the other end of the rink.
Prove you can't hurt us before you can help us.
And Minton has been
even on the penalty kill.
A great story. Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, talented young man.
But then again, you have to sit down, and when you're making the lineups, you say, okay, if he's in, who's out? Does that cost Noah Gregor a job? No. Kelly Yarncroc we haven't seen until tonight in the preseason. Some other notables out of the lineup as well. Sam Lafferty, I guess, being the big one.
That's center ice brought on by Riley. And then, of course, the other thing is the accounting. Minton's contract looks great if you can get it in under the cap. But then at what expense is that as another icing here against Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, that's why so many teams aren't able to carry the 23-man roster. Now, there is talk that the salary cap could go up $4.5 to $5 million next season. I believe Willie Nylander has said, I'll take that.
Face-off won by Toronto. Played in around back of the net to the near side. Liljegren pinches at the point, kept in by Nylander, but it was a wrist shot from him that was blocked and came back out at center before the Leafs shoot it right back in again. Domi nicely to Tavares, and he wired one over top of the net. Liljegren and McCabe back at center. On to Nylander, to Tavares. Tavares down the right wing. Stops, gives it off to Nylander, trying to flip it in front of the net. Domi was there, but it didn't reach him. Now Tavares back checking diligently, but the puck comes up on the left wing side, and in comes Gettinger, and his shot was deflected wide of the net. Domi lost it, poked ahead by Benoit, kept alive by Detroit, pass across. Oh, and a one-timer there was fanned on completely. Or the Red Wings had the go-ahead goal for sure. Played back down into the corner. Another backhand in front of the net. That was Gettinger, I think, who fanned on the one-timer on the far side. Red Wings keeping it in, and they have had good pressure on the Maple Leafs when they've gotten it down here. Played up on the far side, not out. Heroes walks the line, shot in traffic, deflects off goaltender Samsonov. Played up on the wing, Nylander unable to control it, but the Leafs get it out, but they're only going to get one player exchange. That's Domi. Side of the goal, knocked away by Samsonov. McCabe unable to handle it. Samsonov might have been wise just to cover up on it. Now he'll get one drilled into the breadbasket, and there won't be any discussion on that. He'll bring a face-off in the Toronto zone.
There have been long stretches where the Red Wings have kept the Leafs in their own end. You know, I think the Leafs have a little too much in collapse mode in their own end. Not aggressive on the puck. Everybody's almost like 5-on-5 killing a penalty. Shots on goal now, favoring the Leafs by a count of 16-13 here in a 2-2 game early in the second.
Brody plays the puck out, intercepted there by Joe Veleno. He gets it down into the Toronto zone. Riley poking it around back of the net. Veleno intercepted and then was cross-checked from behind by Brody. That's going to bring a penalty to Toronto. And as it is touched by Minton, here's the call. So the Leafs will go to the penalty kill once more. It's brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. And the second period is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it.
Well, Leafs are 1 for 2 in the penalty kill, which has been a total of 11 seconds so far. 5 seconds after the Leafs actually took the penalty 5 seconds into a power play. That was Austin Matthews, and then it only took 6 seconds for Jonathan Berggren to score late in the second period. Face-off win, and the puck was in the back of the net.
Clearing attempt by Giordano ends up going off the glass into the screen. They'll do it again. Matthews and Marner working as a tandem on the penalty kill. And Matthews won the draw, knocked it out at center ice. I'm really looking forward to watching these two guys penalty kill this year, I must admit. Played down in around back of the net. McCabe chipped it along. It goes back to the far side, trapped there by the Red Wings. They're trying to play it in front of the net. Heros was there. And it goes off his stick and into the crowd, out of play again. And another face-off coming in the Toronto zone. And changes coming from Sheldon Keefe.
I got to ask you this. Do you think Austin Matthews in the penalty kill will be a game-to-game thing based on the score? That maybe if you're down a goal or two,
no,
you're going to put him more split?
No, I think it's time that he takes that responsibility full time. I really do.
Like we said, we've seen it with star players around the league, and I know even some of the Leafs made reference to Patrice Bergeron and Brad Marchand killing penalties.
Now here's Nylander out killing penalties with David Camp. Gets in over the line. Shot taken there by Giordano, and it was deflected wide of the net. Nylander able to keep it in momentarily, but the Red Wings are breaking it out at center. In on the left wing it comes. Heroes tries to play it in front. Giordano took a spill into the corner as it comes to the point. Gostisbehere to the far side. Back to Gostisbehere. Gets it again. Another shot then from the angle was deflected wide of the goal as Gettinger got it away. And now it's shot down the ice by Toronto. 50 seconds left in the power play for Detroit. This is their third. And it's to center ice with Lombardi getting to the line, but couldn't get into the zone. They'll try it again, but forced back there nicely by Minton. The Red Wings start out. Up on the left wing side, Lombardi hits the line and in on the right side. Cleared into the corner by Cross-Hannes. Round on the wall it comes, intercepted by the Leafs and just feathered out by Liljegren, who got it down the ice. Nyes is up forechecking and steals the puck. Nyes from a sharp angle and a save made there by Lyon. Wonder what we're going to have to research this, Mr. Ralph. Record for the Maple Leafs most shorthanded goals in a season as a team. Never mind as an individual, but
now isn't Dave Reed or somebody
Dave
that
Rocket Reed had a bunch. But I think if Nyes and Matthews are going to be involved in the penalty kill, I think that there are going to be a lot of shorthanded goals. Here's Giordano walking the line. Penalty is expired. Shot didn't make it through. Red Wings are able to clear and get it out at center ice. Ryan Reeves goes back. Snaps it off the skate of Yarncrook to get it into the Red Wing zone and allow the Leafs to get a change going. Bertuzzi out with Matthews and Marner now, as at the blue line, just kept in by Toronto. And around back of the net, the Red Wings come away with it. Played high to center ice. Now Bertuzzi in, scores! Tyler Bertuzzi steals the puck on a terrible play by Jared McIsaac, and the former Red Wing has got the Leafs out in front by a score of 3-2.
Now it was a fanned pass. Trying to go D to D inside the Red Wing line with a backhand pass. He fans on it, and Bertuzzi took advantage. The perfect pickoff, and then the shot a foot and a half off the ice, blocker side on Lyon. And Tyler Bertuzzi has given the Leafs a 3-2 lead here in the second period.
His first in the preseason. And the Leafs, for the second time in the game, have a lead. Boy, that was a fan pass, though, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, he fanned on it, so yeah.
And of all of the spots in the rink, was the number one worst to have happen. It was right in the slot when Bertuzzi had it gifted to him. Red Wings play to the far boards. Domi intercepts. Got it ahead for Tavares with Nylander. Tavares closes. Tried to get a shot away, and when he did, it went off a stick and ends up in the screen out of play. So a break in the action with the Leafs now in front 3-2 on an unassisted goal for our Sudbury native Tyler Bertuzzi. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate
The adventure of a lifetime is just a click away. Casting is now open for the new season of CTV's The Amazing Race Canada.
We want to see you on the finish line.
Go to ctv.ca/The Amazing Race Canada to apply.
their debts. And that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom! Wha-bam! Zap! Turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Just for license 12616.
With 6% interest on deposits, we don't know if we should call this a savings account or an earnings account. Let's just call it what it is. An awesome rate for new Tangerine clients. Earn a 6% savings rate for 5 months when you open a Tangerine savings account. After all, why put money aside when you could put it to work? Learn more at tangerine.ca/save faster. Tangerine, that's forward banking. Some conditions apply. Promotional interest is calculated daily.
What's behind a life electrified? What's lighting up our communities? Powering more carbon-free commutes? And boosting homegrown innovations? It's electricity generated right here at home. From renewable hydro to nuclear, our lowest carbon energy source. Ontario Power Generation is shaping the clean energy future by investing in Ontario and electrifying life every day. See how at opg.com.
Face-off coming in the Detroit zone. 3-2 Leafs here in the second period. 11-11 left to play in the middle stanza.
Well, the most shorthanded goals in a season for the Leafs, 17. The 86-87 season.
Dave Reed.
As a team,
as a team.
was 17.
Okay.
Yes.
And Dave Reed, I think.
Dave Reed and Dave Keon hold the record for most shorthanded goals in a season at 8. I'll have to go back and take a look at some of those. Would Reeder have been part of that? You'd think he would. We got a penalty coming up.
Has a minor penalty, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Another cross-checking penalty.
Benoit getting it.
His second time going to the box in this game.
So this will be the 4th power play and 2nd in a row to the Leafs as Benoit is in the box at 8:57. And it's shot down the ice. The penalty kill brought to you by CMC Markets. Take your trading to the next level with $0 commission on stocks. Red Wings try to flip it in, and it was intercepted by Minton out of the air, and he brings it back the other way. He'll play it down around back of the net. Nyes trying to help out along the boards. Minton tried to one-hand it. He comes out in front, and it was taken to safety there at the last second by Nate Danielson. Brought out at center by Veleno. In on the right side, tried to pass it into the slot area. Nicely intercepted by Nylander and shot down the ice. Red Wings break it out and almost give it away, but now a pass into the slot went wide. Into the corner is Danielson. Played back to the point. Lost to spare. Fed off on the wing. A pass across is going to be chopped out and brought out by Nylander. Nylander with David Camp. Nylander closes with a pass on the right wing side. And Giordano rushing into the attack. Fired the puck wide of the net. Liljegren trying to tie up his man, and a penalty coming for holding.
And is that going to be Liljegren going, or is it Jaros?
No,
Joey Veleno was there as well.
Yeah, it's Veleno who's going. Yeah, watching the play, you wondered whether it was Liljegren because he was trying to tie up 2 of the Red Wings at the same time.
We talk about the Leafs record, 86-87. Scored 17 shorthanded goals in the season. Guess who their leading scorer was that year?
86-87.
Yes.
Well, Wendell was here, but that wouldn't have been him.
Wendell played 66 games that year. Miroslav Preacher.
Oh? John Brophy's favorite player.
I would have given you 27 guesses for that.
Near side, McCabe, 4-on-4. The Leafs with a pass into the goal crease area. And a nice feed looking for Yarncrook from McCabe, but it was deflected up into the screen. Yarncrook and Domi out there. And now a break in the action here as the Leafs lead 3-2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
2-for-1 Pizza is taking it up a notcho with new 2-for-1 nachos and Irish nachos for just $9.99 each. Enjoy the 2-for-1 nachos with corn tortilla chips or try the
10 seasons of big reveals, bigger surprises.
No way!
And now, the next big thing.
This is huge!
Get into The Masked Singer. New episode Wednesday at 8/9 Mountain on CTV.
Care. And because your vehicle's manufacturer requires to recalibrate your front camera, when we replace your windshield, we take care of that too. Book your appointment today at speedyglass.ca to get back on the road safely. Certain conditions apply. Details at speedyglass.ca.
Speedy Glass Repair. Speedy Glass Replace.
Ontario has never invested more in student success. We're hiring thousands of new educators to work alongside some of the best paid teachers in Canada, right here in Ontario. We're investing in new reading and math supports and spending billions to upgrade and build state-of-the-art schools. Students are back in classrooms with their friends where they belong, so they learn the skills they need now for the jobs of the future. Learn more at ontario.ca/investing in students. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream us on iHeartRadio, the TSN app, or on Apple CarPlay. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it.
Sporting world has lost yet another icon. Dick Butkus, the middle linebacker for the fearsome Bears defense. At a time when professional football was intimidation personified, he was the most intimidating person to play. And passing away, and our condolences to the Bears family and to the Butkus family. What a great name for a football player, though, eh? Dick Butkus. Between him and Ray Nitschke, the two of them ran into one another. Their teams ran into each other over the years. Here the Red Wings in over the line. Sherratt played it around back of the Toronto goal. Brody trying to find an outlet along the boards, does, and it is brought to center ice by Minton. And across the line, Minton got a return pass and then tried to feed it back to Nyes, and he was completely surprised by the effort. Red Wings get it back into the Toronto zone. Nyes has it in his skates, didn't notice it, and then Tavares is able to free it up, and Marner back in his own zone, carries out at center. Marner to the line, in on the right side for Nylander, trying to hustle in after it. Nylander on the line here with Matthews and Marner, as Riley gets it over on the left wing, a pass in front of the net, and a quick feed by Marner that went right by Matthews. That doesn't happen very often. Long lead pass, Marner in over the line, works into the corner, looks for a man in front, left it there for Riley. Riley banned on a pass, it does come back to the blue line, kept in by Marner. Far side, Nylander holding. Nylander trying to center, and as he did, I think he was trying to get it back of the goal where Riley had gone and got it too close to the net. Alex Lyon decides I'd better hang on to that.
And we had a line change, just 2 seconds left now in the Leaf power play. By the way, in talking to myself, you're talking about great sports things. You know, you talk about Dick Butkus being a great name for a football player. The Detroit Tigers in the 70s had some great sports things, from Norm Dash at first base, Gates Brown,
Willie Horton,
Jim Northrup, Dick McAuliffe, Bill Freehand was the catcher.
Shot from the point, whistles just wide, and out of the penalty box escapes Valeno, and the Leafs then come back into their own end and deflect a pass up into the... You know, I was at Tiger Stadium the night that Willie Horton was playing left field, and a little fly ball, nice easy fly ball out to left, bounced right off his head. And the next inning, Willie had a...
Well, he wore a helmet in the outfield mostly, didn't he?
He had his batting helmet on the next inning and wore it the rest of his career. Yeah.
There was Gates and Ike Brown. And remember the third baseman, Aurelio Rodriguez.
Yes.
I mean, they did have some of the best names, I think, in sports.
Mickey Lolich. Come on. Back into the Detroit zone it goes. And one of the great old ballparks, Tiger Stadium, was a delight to go to. Puck along the boards with Reeves in the offensive zone. Chips it back at the net for Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi trying to play it out in front, had it knocked off his stick, but is right back into the fray, along with Pontus Holmberg, who's centering this makeshift line after the power play. And the Red Wings playing it around back of the net with Rafferty, getting it into the corner, and then Reeves intercepts and chips it right back in a little deeper. Leafs will go to the bench. Red Wings coming out slowly, then circling back. Rafferty being chased now by Tavares to his defense partner, McIsaac. McIsaac got the pass ahead, and the Red Wings can do little with it, but just get it out at center. Good hustle by Domi to back check here, taking the puck from Shine. The puck to the far side and out at center ice. Red Wings break it back in on the right side. Into the corner it goes. Shine after it, but taken to the boards efficiently there by Giordano. And then Nylander starts away for Toronto with Domi. Drop pass for Domi. Domi trying to slide it through the legs and did nicely there by getting around Gostisbehere, but the puck got too far away from him. Now Berggren trying to get a shot away. That was blocked by Benoit. Red Wings keep it in at the point. Gostisbehere a shot. That deflected wide. Far side, trapping it is Edvinsson. Back to Gostisbehere. Long shot. Look out. That was a miff catch there by Samsonov that has created more problems here for the Maple Leafs. And a tripping penalty coming up.
Boy, the Leafs have really, I realize it's preseason. The officials might be calling everything to the nth degree to try to get ready for their season, but the Leafs have got to stay out of the box.
Fifth power play for Detroit coming up.
Yeah, only 5 shots on goal for the Red Wings in this period, but another stick infraction on a trip.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
All right, everyone. Step up and down. Left foot, right foot. You're climbing up a trail. Now back in your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and getting active in the...
Foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down.
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
Real world. Work those abs. Driving right through the mud and left and right. Keep that core engaged and bend at the knees as you load more to your Subaru. Windows down. Take in that outdoor air and park.
Get more value out of every kilometer at your local Subaru dealer, starting with award-winning safety.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
The secret to my super strength? A mega calorie diet. And my super strong muscles are exactly what Ed and Kate needed. They wanted a backyard with a tiki bar. You know the vibes. They were approved for a home renovation loan. And I got these powerful hands dirty. Their backyard is now glorious.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Just for license 12616. Treat your family to the best. Get Pizzaville's 2 medium, 4 toppings combined for $23.73. This week, make it even better. Add 12 wings for only $12.73. Call 416-736-3636 or order at pizzaville.ca.
Power play coming up here for Detroit with the Leafs leading 3-2. Pass intercepted by Brody and just launched out at center ice. Then Camp intercepted, and that brings Yarncrook into the zone. Took a shot, and off his stick it goes, ramping up into the screen.
Yarncrook getting some opportunity here on the penalty kill. Dodano played less than 4 minutes in the opening period, his first preseason game. And yet, because Fraser Mint became such a good story, and Noah Gregor has had some nice moments trying to earn a contract as well. Yarncrook really, his absence flew below the radar.
Backhand try there by Minton was blocked. He and Nyes are the penalty killing forwards. The Red Wings starting out of their own zone. Left wing feed now for Veleno. Got in over the line, and a pass goes to the far side. Back to Gostisbehere, middle of the ice. Off on the wing once more, and a shot. Blocker save, rebound in front of the goal. Grabbed off by Nyes, and launched out and down the ice. Gostisbehere to the line and in. Played off on the right wing side. Back it comes to Gostisbehere once more. Dropped off on the left wing for Danielson. His shot went wide, and just keeping it in on the far side was Berggren, but the Leafs are breaking it back the other way. Matthews now driving the net. Matthews around back of the goal. Oh, and a wrap around. And Alex Lyon just, and I mean just, did get that left pad down and over in time to deny Matthews, who has it again in the offensive zone, chipping it around back of the net.
Lyon, no, you got to respect the shot of Austin Matthews. That's why he couldn't cheat to try to get back to the post. He still had to come out when Matthews had the puck on the left wing side and stay out and challenge, but that also gave Matthews a bit of an advantage on the wraparound. But as you mentioned, Lyon just does get back with a left pass.
Pass to the right wing side for Soderblom. Red Wings have it go off a stick in front of the goal, and then it's knocked wide of the Leaf net. Penalty has expired, and the Leafs have it at center. Here is a nice spinning move by Pontus Holmberg. Tried to one-hand it in front, he did. It bounces over the stick then of McCabe. Played around back of the net. David Camp can't get to it. Lyon has had 39 games in the NHL. Philadelphia, Carolina, and Florida have been his stops. Now in Detroit. Sebastian Cossa is the other goaltender dressed here tonight, but it looks like Lyon's going the distance as the Red Wings have it back in their own zone. Cross Hannes, dropping it back up on the left wing for Lombardi. They'll go to the blue line as it is slashed into the Toronto end with 2.5 minutes to play here in the period. Played around back of the net by the Leafs. Brody, a long lead pass that went astray. It was intended for Reeves and will come all the way back now on an icing charge against Toronto.
Yeah, man, to the ice time, just checking in on Kelly Yarncroc. It's 5 minutes and 54 seconds of ice time. Here's we are now 2:25 to go in the second period. Maybe to ease it back in a little bit. Maybe wanting to see more of the likes of Fraser Minton. And even Pontus Holmberg.
Draw one by Detroit. Sherratt with a shot that was deflected wide. Leafs get the puck to the line but don't clear it. And now Liljegren will get a chance back of his own goal to bank it out at center, and it is deflected down into the Detroit end. Yarncroc goes down there against Justin Hall. Puck is played around the boards. It's going to be trapped by Riley at the left point. Played high off a stick, and it ends up going up into the crowd, and young lady makes a pretty good catch over there.
There's probably more relief than anything else when you see it sail over the short glass. Right in the Leaf zone.
A lot of youngsters in the crowd here this evening. Face off to the left of Lyon in the Detroit end. Red Wings control the draw and punch it out at center ice. McCabe tied up his man sufficiently, and now Riley gets it ahead, and it's chopped to the line, but not in deep. Red Wings with it once more. McIsaac plays up on the wing, tipped in over the line by Heroes. Goaltender, and they score! Oh my! Samsonov was out of the net, and he fanned on the pass or shoot around back of his goal. And he was never able to get back into the net before Dominic Shine intercepts and gets a pass from behind the net, and Shine ties the game at 3.
Maybe poor communication, but one of the great reads on this play was Joey Veleno. He was the one that picked this off. And I think Samsonov thought, I'll do a little fake that I'm going to reverse it and go backhand. Veleno didn't buy it, picked it off and threw it out front, and Ilya Samsonov gets caught out of the goal. And the Red Wings have tied it at 3 here late in the second period.
Flipped out into neutral ice by Minton. Sherratt goes back into his own zone. Nyes gets a body check in there on the forecheck. Now it's cleared back in. The Leafs will have to tag up, and many of them heading to the bench for a change. Red Wings get it back to the line and in on the left wing. Holding there is Danielson. Played around back of the net. Less than a minute to go here in the second period. as it rolls out at center ice. Red Wings once more back in on the left wing. Bergman holds, gets it back to the blue line, walking the line. Edmondson to the far side. Soderblom played it back. Here's Justin Hall working into the corner. Hall with a shot. Pat save, but a rebound in front. Cleared out at center ice. Nice trying to reach it, but at the end of a shift here was unable to come up with it. Now he's hounding the defenseman as it comes back out on the left wing side. Brought on by Soderblom. A shot hit the goal post, and then it was cleared off a stick and rolls to the line, but not out. Red Wings keeping it in. Backhand pass, and again, goaltender Samsonov has lost the cue. Goal stick is way out.
Pretty good place to leave it that time. It intercepted a pass.
And the horn will bring an end to the period.
Well, we said if you look at the talent in each lineup, this shouldn't be close, but here we are at 3-3 at the end of 40 minutes of play. As the big boys for the Leafs, maybe for a lot of them, the final tune-up to the regular season that'll start next Wednesday against the Montreal Canadiens.
We'll step aside for our second period intermission with Jim Taddy and Frankie Corrado. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Callum.
Yes, Michael.
Let's talk about diamonds.
Okay.
What is the difference between a natural diamond and a created diamond?
Two things.
Where's Sarah?
Foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down.
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
Right about now is when she usually pops in with something to say.
She's taken a few weeks off to travel.
Oh, okay. So tell me about the two things.
The first difference is that you get a much bigger created diamond for your budget.
And the second thing?
Natural diamonds were created by nature, deep in the heart of the earth. Artisan created diamonds are born in the fiery heart of a plasma chamber.
What is plasma?
A bolt of lightning is made of plasma, and the sun is made of plasma. It creates an environment where diamonds can form just like they did when the earth was born.
But why do you get a bigger created diamond for your budget?
They made too many, too quickly, so right now we have a temporary oversupply and the prices are at an all-time low.
But we sell both kinds, right?
Michael, we sell every kind of diamond there is.
Spence. Wow! Located in Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga. When it comes to tough, there's no such thing as second best. It's why we built the 2023 Ford F-150 with available Power Boost full hybrid V6 engine and class exclusive Pro Power onboard. If you want the truck built with power, capability, and innovation, there's no substitute. There's only F-150. Right now, get up to $5,500 in rebates on select 2023 F-150 models. Visit your Toronto area Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
Hi, it's Randy Hanatko, founder of Train West Online Academy. Stop selling features and benefits. This technique is not effective today. Features and benefits don't convince people to buy, emotions do. Becoming an expert in asking good questions and listening to the answers is your key to success in sales, not barfing out features and benefits. For 18 years, we've been training professional salespeople to reach their full potential. If you're deadly serious about increasing your sales and profits, go to trainwest.ca to learn more. Trainwest.ca.
We care about the future just like you. We have the same concerns about climate change, protecting our communities and the planet. That's why every day we're taking action to develop Canada's energy resources sustainably. Cenovus is a Canadian-based oil and gas company working with our peers, governments, and scientists to find innovative ways to reduce our emissions and water use, reclaim the land we work on, and much more. See how we're taking action at sustainabilitythroughaction.com.
Does each movement remind you of your joint pain? Try Genicol Pain Relief. This natural health product combines clinically proven ingredients that help to reduce joint pain associated with osteoarthritis. Thanks to Genicol Pain Relief, you can start to feel results in just 5 days. Make Canada's #1 selling joint care supplement part of your daily routine and feel the difference. Genicol Pain Relief is available in pharmacies or on Amazon. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label.
Genicol makes me feel so good.
When I think of affordable data, I think of Virgin Plus.
Unlimited nationwide 5G data. There's so much of it.
It's hard to ignore the value.
From $55 a month. Yes, $55 a month.
And the member benefits are over the top.
Virgin Plus, obviously.
Oh, where can I get this song?
50 gigs, 5G data, up to 250 megabits per second after a credit of $10 for 24 months. Conditions apply. Visit a Virgin Plus store or virginplus.ca for details.
Overdrive, Toronto's favorite way to drive home. Weekdays 4 to 7 on TSN 1050. Live from Scotiabank Arena, you're listening to The Intermission Show on the Leafs Radio Network.
Laid high to center ice. Now Bertuzzi in, scores! Tyler Bertuzzi steals the puck on a terrible play by Jared McIsaac, and the former Red Wing has got the Leafs out in front by a score of 3-2.
And it's 3-3 after 40 minutes of play. TSN After 40 delivered by 241 Pizza. Right now, get 2 medium pizzas, 4 toppings combined for just $20.99. Visit 241pizza.com. So tied at 3, Jim Taddy and Frankie Corrado live from Scotiabank Arena. Let's deal with a Bertuzzi moment, just because, okay, it's a bad pass, it's a giveaway, but he buried it. And when you see that, you go, okay, so this is the new guy, and you put him in with what we know Matthews and Marner can do, and that's a nice picture.
There's a lot of potential for that to be, honestly, one of the best lines in the NHL when you think about what Mitch Marner has on the horizon. At some point, Jimmy, this guy is having a 100-point season. He had 99 last year, 97 the season before. Chances are he's getting 100 this year. And with Austin Matthews bouncing back, and I say that in jest, bouncing back from a 40-goal year to hopefully more this year, 48, 49, 50, let's call it that. Tyler Bertuzzi, a guy who's already scored 30 in this league, has the potential to put that line over the top. And we get to see the shot. He scores a goal. It's one of those things where you want to get one as a player like that in the preseason. Just gives you that nice feeling knowing that you put one in the back of the net. You're going into the regular season now, and I think Tyler Bertuzzi has asserted himself quite well throughout the preseason, especially tonight. Like we can see coming off a Leafs power play or a Leafs penalty kill, he kind of gets thrown out onto the ice with some other players, and he injects some life and energy into that shift. He's down, lower in the offensive zone, throwing the body around, winning some puck battles. He's a nice complementary piece to Matthews and Marner, but you see when those guys come off a power play and he needs to go on the ice next, or those guys come off a penalty kill and he needs to go on the ice next, you can insert him in other places in the lineup and he still serves a purpose. He could be a very useful player for the Leafs this year.
Okay, so let's go back over what you said about the Marner, Matthews, Bertuzzi line from a couple of perspectives. The first one is fantasy sports. What kind of numbers do you think that line could generate?
I think Mitch Marner's a 100-point player this year. So any way you want to slice that, it's probably 30 goals, let's say. Like that seems like what would be in Mitch Marner's wheelhouse. I think Austin Matthews should be pushing for 50 goals this year. I think last year at 40 goals is a down year for him. He had to deal with a lot of injuries and play through certain things, whether it was the back or the wrist that seems to act up on him. Like for me, Austin Matthews is a 50-50 guy. 50 goals, 50 assists.
Right.
That line has the potential to have 2 players with 100 points on it, and then you add in Tyler Bertuzzi, who, like I said, Jimmy, like Zach Hyman, very good player. Zach Hyman's a better player than Tyler Bertuzzi is now, but Tyler Bertuzzi is better at this point going onto this line than Zach Hyman was when he was going onto this line during that tenure. A guy who's already scored 30. Hyman never scored 30 on this line. Bunting never scored 30 on this line. Tyler Bertuzzi has an opportunity here to score 30 goals, maybe pick up another, 30, 35 assists. That would be a very good year for him, and that would help catapult that line into one of the best in the NHL.
I mean, really, you're talking about 110 goals for the line.
Right, and a lot of that is going to be for Matthews and Marner on the power play. The Leafs had the second best power play in the NHL last year, and I don't see it taking a step back because when you think about all those different pieces, okay, John Tavares, his bread and butter is the power play. He's going to be productive there. When John Klingberg does get back into the lineup, the power play is going to have a different look, has the potential to be even better. So there's a lot going for this team. I wonder your thoughts on this. So Matthews, Marner, Nylander, we're seeing them penalty kill now, right?
Right, yeah.
How many times we do the post-game show, and you'll go through some of the ice times for Matthews and Marner specifically, and it's 22, 25. Seems like it's very often.
Yeah.
And Marner, it's always more because he's penalty killed as it is. But Matthews has not been a penalty kill guy, and we've seen after games this guy's ice time is up in the 22, 24 region. How much more ice time can you allocate to him while he's penalty killing? Like, is there enough ice time for this guy in the game? Are you going to run him into the ground? Are you going to scale him back a little bit at 5-on-5 because he's going to have the penalty kill minutes? Now, I know it's the preseason and everything.
No, but you're talking 82 games.
Right. Everything's a little bit of a test right now. They're trying to work some things out.
Yeah.
But he looks good on the penalty kill.
Well, so did Nyes, though. I mean,
yes.
That's something to look at, too.
Nyes looks very good on the penalty kill. He's a hound on every single puck. He makes it very difficult. Simon Edvinsson, the rookie, well, I guess you can't call him a rookie anymore, the young defenseman for the Detroit Red Wings, he did everything he possibly could to get away from Matthew Nyes, and it was very evasive, but Nyes had him going right till the very end. He didn't let up on him, and he does that so often, and more often than not, he comes up with the puck. He's a very tricky player to get away from.
Now, this is a regular season question, but I'm going to throw it at you now. Bertuzzi, Matthews, Marner, how good is that line comparatively to the rest of the league?
Okay, so you got to think about who are some of the great lines around the NHL. The Boston perfection line is no more with Patrice Bergeron retiring. You almost think of it in duos sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So McDavid and Draisaitl, there's a duo.
Yeah.
Who plays with them? A lot of the time it's Zach Hyman. Sometimes it's Evander Kane, but most of the time it's Zach Hyman. The other duo would be in Colorado, McKinnon and Rantanen. Those guys play together a lot. If this becomes one of those things where Matthews, Marner, and Bertuzzi has a home on that line, and he would have a home on that line because they'd be playing so well, and they'd be very productive, and they'd be filling the back of the net, I don't see why the duo of Matthews-Marner with the addition of Bertuzzi can't put them in the same conversation as McKinnon, Rantanen, whoever's playing with them,
right.
McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman. Can you think of any other better lines around the league than that?
No, the only thing that holds it back is the fact that they haven't played together in the regular season and the lack of playoff success.
Right.
If there was playoff success here, we'd be talking about who was ever on that left side of that line a little differently.
Well, we're talking regular season, and you hope there's like you like to say, there's a steady build throughout the regular season, and you get into the playoffs, and that line becomes one of those lines there, Jimmy. It's like it's a non-negotiable thing. They're filling the back of the net every night.
It's a good thing I had the summer to come up with new material. This is Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
NHLShop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL.
Adventure calls for you and the whole family. But which to choose? A meeting with Sobek, the mighty Spinosaurus, the only one of its kind on the continent. Or a descent into an ancient Egyptian tomb filled with treasures valued more than life itself. Maybe you'll wander the Hall of 600 Gemstones in all its bejeweled beauty.
The adventure of a lifetime is just a click away. Casting is now open for the new season of CTV's The Amazing Race Canada.
We want to see you on the finish line.
Go to ctv.ca/The Amazing Race Canada to apply.
A few degrees lower. You may never agree on the perfect temperature, but agree on a smart thermostat. It can learn your preferences and adjusts automatically to keep the whole family comfy from anywhere, anytime. Until October 31st, get $100 off popular smart thermostat models and save instantly before you buy. Terms and conditions apply. Visit enbridgegas.com/smart thermostat.
All the colors and flavors of a bountiful fall harvest are arriving daily at Farm Boy. Canadian fruit and vegetable crops are picked at the peak of dewy freshness and rushed to your local Farm Boy store to be proudly displayed for you. Join the fall celebration around the harvest table at Farm Boy. And remember, for fresh, never frozen Ontario Thanksgiving turkey, Ontario smoked ham, and all the convenience of chef prep sides, Farm Boy freshness turns a dinner into a feast.
When you fly Air Canada, the travel essentials that matter to you are included. Ben loves that he can binge over 2,500 hours of entertainment. That's a lot of rom-coms. Sam loves the free Wi-Fi messaging for Aeroplan members.
Now I can stay in touch with my new love, Paolo.
And Chloe loves that she doesn't have to pay extra for her carry-on bag.
Gotta keep all my shoes close by, even though I'll never wear them all.
With so much included, why look anywhere else? Book at aircanada.com or contact your travel agent.
The out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Maple Toyota. Build your next dream Toyota at Maple Toyota. And check out Maple Toyota's pre-owned inventory arriving daily. Guy, it's time to Toyota. Visit mapletoyota.com. Here's what we have out of town. Washington 2-1 over the Blue Jackets. That's in the third period. Boston and the Rangers tied at 1 in the second. Also late in the first period, it is Chicago trailing Minnesota 1-0. End of the second. Panthers and Lightning tied at 3. End of the second, Flyers 4-1 over the Islanders. End of the first, Nashville 3-1 over the Canes. Senators with a 1-0 lead over the Jets after 20 minutes of play, and the Blues 1-0 over the Stars after 20 minutes of play. In our game, it's tied at 3 after 40 minutes of play. That means, yes, Guy, the third period is next. This is Wolfson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
2-for-1 Pizza is taking it up a nacho with new 2-for-1 nachos and Irish nachos for just $9.99 each. Enjoy the 2-for-1 nachos with corn tortilla chips or try the Irish nachos with potato wedges. Both come loaded with nacho cheese sauce, mozzarella cheese, tomatoes, green peppers, red onions, and jalapeno peppers. Add the 2-for-1 special featuring 2 medium pizzas with 4 toppings combined for only $20.99 plus tax. Order online at 2for1pizza.com.
At Maple Toyota, fun and work go hand in hand, and your success is the name of the game. Just ask the team of players that have been here since the beginning. In fact, you could say Maple Toyota.
Let's listen up here, boys. Everybody listen up here now.
Shorzy is back, and it's only on Crave.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys.
A new season of setting the tone.
Who's going to set the tone? You got to set the tone.
Chirping.
If those visors come any darker, I can still kind of see how ugly you are.
And a chance to make history.
They can be the best team in the league this year. Or they can be the best team in the league ever.
Shorzy, new season. Stream now. Only on Crave. Subscribe now at crave.ca. Plan starting at $9.99 a month.
I'm Nelson Fresco, president of Mila Canada. Until November 6th, we're offering you the choice of a free industry-leading 10-year warranty or up to 12% off your purchase during the Mila Perfect 10 Plus event. Exceptional savings on exceptionally crafted appliances that are built to last. Visit a Mila retailer or Mila.ca to learn more. Elevate your home with Mila.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it would be too difficult or time-consuming? Then it's time to try Babbel. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. So with just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking in a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel, language for life. Right now, Babbel is offering radio listeners 55% off their subscription. Visit babbel.com/radio. That's BABBEL.com/radio for 55% off.
There's no better way to drive home than with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog. Overdrive every weekday, 4 to 7 p.m. on TSN 1050.
Leafs and Red Wings are tied 3-3 heading to the third period. Shots on goal favoring Toronto by 3, 23-20. Both teams have made some glaring defensive miscues.
It looks like Alex Lyon will go the distance for the Red Wings. James Reimer brought in to provide support for Billy Husso, other Red Wing goaltender. So Alex Lyon really, I think the mentality was to bring him in as a depth move.
Well, there's a few teams that have that, and then you think about what's gone on, obviously, in Tampa Bay, and who are they going to try to...
Well, Martin Jones is the name that obviously comes up.
As far as the Leafs are concerned, yes, absolutely.
And I did confirm, talking with one of the scouts, that it's just you protect, 20 players?
Yep.
And if you want to protect 5 goalies, that's fine. Expose a few more.
Shot down into the Red Wing zone. Leafs unable to come up with it as it bounces out at center ice again. And Riley playing it back into his own zone now, looks for a defense partner, and that is Brody, who got it out over the line, only to have it brought back in on a delayed offside. And now here are the Red Wings, unable to make a pass, and so Matthews turns in his own zone. Got it up on the left wing for Bertuzzi, who sends it back to the defense. And that'll allow the rest of the complement to get exchanged as Riley steps up at the red line and shoots it in, and now he heads to the bench. Nylander swinging it around the boards to McCabe as he tried to drop it back for Tavares. It was out of his reach. Leafs have to go back to their own blue line. Nylander lost the handle on it, brought on now by Sherratt. Got across the line and played around back of the Toronto goal. McCabe frees it up on the far side, and it is Liljegren able to skate it out at center and get it to the red line and shoot it right back down into the Detroit zone. Now we got some audio going here. All right. Bouncing puck into the near boards and played out at center ice and down into Toronto territory. No icing. And Benoit will play around to the near wing, and the Maple Leafs start out. Here's Minton hitting the red line and flipping it in. Strides in there after it, and he's going to get to the puck on good hustle around back of the net. Couldn't make a pass there to Nyes. Nyes kept it into the corner for Minton. Minton lost his edge, lost his balance, but got the puck back to the point, and a shot coming, and that was blocked off the stick of Giordano. Now sent back in front of the net from Nyes as he looked for Yarncrook on the right wing side, but the Red Wings got a stick in the way and intercepted. Giordano played back into the Toronto zone for Benoit. Pounded off the boards to center. Red Wings come away with it. Justin Hall back in and playing it around back of the Toronto goal to the far wing. Leafs try to regroup it to the line, but can't get it out initially. And now it'll be Reeves starting down the left wing. Played it to the line and just brought in, but offside is Camp. And so a face-off coming back out into the center ice area.
Usually you find the games get a little more competitive and the teams get a little sharper, but I don't know if we've hit that point yet. Do you?
No.
I thought the game a couple of nights ago here was maybe a little better pace to it in their games against the Montreal Canadiens.
Now Camp tried to play it in, but it was a effort by Reeves to try and stay on side. I really didn't think he managed it, but now he steals a puck in the offensive zone, played it down into the corner. Holmberg couldn't get to it, and the Red Wings will get it up on the right wing side and play it out into the center ice zone. Matthews against the boards. Reeves chips it in. Hustling in there after it is Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi tried to center there for Matthews. That didn't work, but he comes away with the puck. Centers in front for Marner! And a wrist shot is blockered away nicely by Lyon. Marner hustling back in pursuit of that loose puck, and the Leafs go back into their own zone now. Liljegren tried to play it to himself off the boards. That didn't work. And then the Leafs are able to break up the Detroit rush as it's swept around the boards on the near side, and Bertuzzi trying to chip it by one Red Wing and another. And finally out at center ice it comes to Marner. Marner plays it high. Bertuzzi unable to settle it down. Red Wings get it back to center, and now Bertuzzi will try the other side. Nylander in with a shot, and he wired it over top of the net. Riley didn't keep it in at the blue line as it just did squeak out, and a whistle here with 15:54 to go in the third period. We had overtime the other night against Montreal that was decided 31 seconds into it. Here it is a 3-3 tie.
That's one thing where you'd like to see the Leafs a little better as well as in overtime.
Well, remember last year,
Eric Källgren.
Yeah.
I think had 4 overtime losses and 9 or 10 starts, and not that you pin it all on the goaltender, but
and it was early.
Yeah.
It was early in the overtime, and then all of a sudden they started to regroup who was going to start the overtime instead of Matthews and Marner. It was more, let's see if
David Camp would take the draw.
Yeah, Red Wings get it down into the Leaf zone. A centering pass is broken up there nicely by Domi, and he gets it ahead, but Nylander couldn't get around the defense. Brought back in over the line. Nylander spins his man around. The puck comes free, and the Maple Leafs will start out of their own zone. Tavares lugging it to center and sending it in over the line. Nyes is after it in pursuit, but it's out of his reach. Red Wings get it ahead. Yarncrook couldn't get it away there from Casper. Puck down in the Toronto end. Brought on by Giordano. Giordano off the right wing boards. Played in over the line by Yarncrook. Minton into the forecheck. Got a piece of his man, but now the Leaf defense. Benoit's trapped. And here the Red Wings breaking it on goal! And it was deflected just wide of the far post on a great feed in there for Wallander. The Red Wings back at the point again, and a shot in traffic, and Samsonov is slow to get up here after coming across, and the official is chatting with him, but he's back in the net.
Samsonov had to go a long way from his right to his left.
Reeves intercepts a pass, then couldn't get it in front of the net to an awaiting David Camp. The wave is making its way around Scotiabank Arena. Puck at the point. Liljegren's drive, and that went off a Toronto player. Reeves in front of the net. The Red Wings trying to flip it out at center, and they have, and Liljegren will quickly play it right back in again. Reeves unable to reach it on the far side with David Camp in pursuit. Liljegren chipping it ahead, and now Holmberg will send it back into his own zone as they start a change. Matthews to center. Lays it down into the Red Wing zone. Lyon out of the cage to get it around on the boards. Cut off there on the far side. Bertuzzi back at the net for Marner. Marner closes, sends it in front. Chipped high over top of everybody into the far corner. And the Red Wings will just get it out and down the ice. Icing coming here against Detroit. 13:04 to play in the third period. And Ilya Samsonov, whatever was ailing him, seems to be okay.
I mean, he had to move a long way right to left, and then the puck went back the opposite direction. So it was as if he had to readjust on the fly and seemed to tweak something, but staying in there. Joe Wall is a backup. I don't know if you want to throw him in halfway through the third period of a preseason game.
Well, if there's anything bothering Samsonov, you don't want him to play the rest of the preseason game, do you?
That's when you're wondering, lose them both in one moment. Wall would be coming in cold, obviously.
Valeno in across the line for Detroit. Works it back to the point. Justin Hall, a pass in behind its receiver back of the goal. Kept alive by Berggren, who comes to the near corner. Now around back of the net, Berggren after it, but Domi is able to poke it to the line. Tavares can't get it out for him. Domi against the boards, lost the handle on it, recovers it. Now to Giordano. Giordano to Tavares, and Tavares is just going to play it off the boards to center, and Domi reaches it there. Max Domi got it across the line. Tavares with a pass on the right wing side, and Nylander couldn't handle it. Nylander into the corner, and Tavares swings it around to the near side. Defenseman McCabe pinches to keep it alive. Cut off by Detroit. Played to the blue line, and reaching it in time was Nyes, fresh off the bench. Flipped on the far side. Nyes alone in front of the goal, and it went off the heel of his stick and went wide. Nyes will play it down into the corner. Played high to center ice by Detroit. No icing, says the linesman. And the Leafs get it ahead, and McCabe flips it on for Minton, who gets it down into the zone. One thing Fraser Minton can do is skate. He and Nyes have got some real quickness here on this line. Yarncrook down into the corner. Minton comes out with a shot, blocked the rebound, chipped in front there by Riley, but off the shoulder of Lyon and then back of the net. Now Minton gets it back to the blue line. Riley sends it purposely wide to the side of the goal. It came in front, and Minton couldn't get his stick on it. Yarncrook is able to keep it in. Minton with a shot and into the chest of Lyon. It is held. The kid's not playing himself off the roster, is he? He really isn't.
No, at the very least, he's made the most of an opportunity that's been given to him here in the preseason.
It is 3-3 tie with 10:49 left to play in the third period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Whatever the weather, CMC Markets is here to help. Planning for a rainy day? Enjoy $0 commission on U.S. and Canadian share CFDs. Riding out the storm? Get ahead.
You came here to kill me, so do it.
This month on Crave. Every day is Halloween with all episodes of HBO's The Last of Us.
You're not going to scare us.
Showtime's Yellow Jackets.
We need to find a way to stay alive.
Plus, terrifying movies like Halloween Ends, Evil Dead Rise, The Exorcist, and more.
I'm losing my mind.
Stream now if you dare on Crave.
It all ends now.
Plans starting at $9.99 a month. Subscribe now at crave.ca.
Companies agree
to invest in technologies that can reduce CO2
in a big way.
That's why we're proposing to build one of the world's largest carbon capture and storage networks.
We have to work together, industry
and governments,
to lower carbon emissions wherever we can.
See our plan at pathwaysalliance.ca.
Thinking about investing? Need insurance advice? Cooperators can help. So if you need a, maybe we should redo the kitchen investment plan, or wait, I wonder what's in the walls insurance plan. We do both. Cooperators, investing in your future together. Mutual funds and related investment products are offered through Cooperators Financial Investment Services, Inc. Terms and conditions apply.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream your favorite shows in your car. Available on Apple CarPlay via the iHeartRadio app. TSN 1050. Everywhere you want it.
Face-off coming in the Detroit zone to the left of Alex Lyon. Scrummed. Controlled by Matthews. Curls in the far corner. Quickly back to the point. Brody doesn't shoot it. Marner will. And it's fought off by Lyon's blocking glove. Now here's Bertuzzi. Just failing to find Marner cruising into the slot. And the Red Wings get it out into the center ice area. Marner intercepts and he wheels back. Marner in across the line, dropping for Matthews. Matthews doesn't shoot it. Got it back to Riley. Far point to Brody. Return to Brody from Riley, back to Riley, closing in, and he shot it off a leg and it went wide. Bertuzzi finishes his check to gain a loose puck. Played along the boards and back to the blue line again for Brody. Brody works to the right wing side this time. Chatham native got it down into the corner, but it is poked off his stick and back to center. And Marner will go back as the Leafs begin a change. Morgan Riley got it ahead off Max Domi's stick into the offensive end. 30 shots for Toronto, 20 for the Red Wings, who have had just one. Now Nylander closing in and goal! Got it in front, and Domi's stick was lifted by Justin Hall at just the right second. Red Wings have had just one shot on goal in this third period.
Well, they only had 4 shots until late in the second period.
Giordano fighting for possession, and Domi got it freed up and then couldn't find a man in front. He gets it again. Now he sweeps it right through the goal crease area. And off the far boards, the Red Wings carry to center. In across the line. Caros trying to play into the corner. That didn't work. Benoit unable to get it out. Leafs after it in the far corner. Grabbed off again by Lombardi. Lombardi works the far point. Back it comes to the near side. Rafferty for Detroit is able to keep it in. Gets it handed back to him. And then a long shot was redirected in front of the net by Soderblom off the glass. Kept in again with a long shot that was stopped there by Samsonov. And it is brought on now by Pontus Holmberg, who will chip it out. A hit there by Reeves. Stood up his man, Valeno, but No damage done. The Red Wings get it in on the right side. Christian Fischer, a pass into the slot area off a stick, and Reeves fails to get the puck out initially, but now has it to Pontus Holmberg, who will shoot it into the Red Wing zone. 8 minutes to go, third period. We're tied 3-3. Sherratt will play it out and down the ice. Icing waved off by the linesman. Both teams getting a change in. Jake McCabe, wearing sweater number 22, sends it down on a bounce into the Red Wing zone. Out of the corner, Minton tries to center. It bounces in front of the goal and then knocked back towards the blue line. Kept in there by Brody. Down into the corner for Minton again. Rung around the boards to find Morgan Riley. Riley poking it back of the net, but it was too far for Minton to handle. And it comes to the line, and now Nyes has kept the puck in. At the blue line, the Leafs closing, and the shot wired over top of the net. Brody keeps it in at the point. Yarncrook around back of the goal. Nice centers in front, and Minton couldn't get a backhand to settle down before shooting it. A centering pass then by Riley is broken up. Again, the Red Wings having difficulty getting up. Play it around the boards to the far side. Giordano kept it in initially, but the Red Wings are able to get it back out into neutral ice, only to have the Leafs shoot it right back out at center. Hall regrouping and then getting it returned. Justin Hall got it ahead on the left wing to the blue line, broken up there by Toronto. Giordano for Benoit. Played back for Matthews, coming through neutral ice, slides in on the left wing. Bertuzzi did well to stay on side, and then a shot into the chest held by Lyon off the stick of Austin Matthews.
Yeah, that is shot number 8 of the period for the Leafs, and as you mentioned, the Red Wings still hanging on to one shot on goal, but the Leafs need to strike iron here. 6:22 to go in the third period.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations.
This October, riveting originals are right at your fingertips when you add stars to a Crave subscription. Courtney Cox, Greg Kinnear, and Mira Sorvino in new episodes of Shining Vale.
What if my psychosis got into the family?
Oscar winner Forrest Whitaker in the crime drama Godfather of Harlem.
I call the shots.
Stars also has the latest releases. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, and the slasher comedy, The Blackening. Whoa. Subscribe now at stars.ca. Also available on Crave.
Said more award-winning safety for more peace of mind, but to listen to one song over and over again with fantastic acoustics. I love you, family, but the singing, nobody warned me about the singing.
Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke.
What's behind a life electrified? What's lighting up our communities, powering more carbon-free commutes, and boosting homegrown innovations? It's electricity generated right here at home. From renewable hydro to nuclear, our lowest carbon energy source. Ontario Power Generation is shaping the clean energy future by investing in Ontario and electrifying life every day. See how at opg.com.
Treat your family to the best. Get Pizzaville's 2 medium, 4 toppings combined for $23.73. This week, make it even better. Add 12 wings for only $12.73. Call 416-736-3636 or order at pizzaville.ca.
The 8th and final exhibition game is Saturday night. We'll have that action for you on TSN 1050 and the Leaf Radio Network. Leafs win the draw. Pass off a stick by Riley went wide of the Detroit goal, and it is back out into the center ice area, and the Leafs have it again. Launched high off the glass and into the Detroit end, where this third period has pretty much been played. And the Red Wings finally get it out, and Liljegren will go back. Liljegren and Riley a tandem now as the pass through center. Marner in, tried to flip it back. Pass intercepted and rolled in front of the goal, and Bertuzzi had it deflect into the corner, and a high stick is caught. Bertuzzi again.
The second penalty he's drawn in a high stick. Maybe he wasn't as popular with the Red Wings as we thought.
Had a nice chat with him coming to the rink tonight. I said, you got two stiffs to have to really try to work into your attack. Going forward, he kind of chuckled. Young man from Sudbury. And a high stick here will go to Edmondson.
And this is what you hope to see in the regular season, where the big boys come on the ice with a game on the line late in the game, and they can put it away.
Power play brought to you by your Ontario Subaru dealers. Hurry to your local Subaru dealer and get more out of every kilometer this fall, including more karaoke. And the Leafs will have to go back into their own zone as the Red Wings win the faceoff. Here's Marner coming out of his own zone. Works through center, drops to Matthews, who got it in over the line. Nylander got it back to Matthews in the corner. Now Marner playing it around the boards for Tavares. Back to the point to Riley. Riley to Nylander. Cross ice, Tavares! Shot! Wow, and Lyon, I mean, 3/4 of him was in the net, let alone an angle, and that just did hit him. A centering pass, and Nylander had it stopped by Lyon's left pad. Here's Riley at the point to Matthews. Curls at the near half boards. Still with it. Holds down low. Marner centers. Tavares couldn't get a shot, and it's backhanded down the ice. Boy, Lyon really was out of position there, wasn't he? And he got lucky.
Turned a little bit sideways, too.
Matthews brings it to center. Gives off to Marner. Flipped in for Nylander. Nylander double team, but able to get the puck back to the line. Now trying to keep it alive, and did. Kicked in front of the net. Tavares centered it back for Matthews, and that didn't work. And now the Wings will get it out and down the ice.
Boy, one pass too many, maybe two passes too many, as the Leafs, both Tavares and Matthews, had an opportunity to get into the net from close range.
25 seconds left in the power play. Second unit on. Nyes down into the corner for Minton, for Yarncrook. Yarncrook to the far side for Bertuzzi. Back to Liljegren. Back to Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi far half boards, and as he tried to get it back to Liljegren, it was well out of his reach. And back into the Leaf zone, and that'll do it for the power play. Left wing side, Bertuzzi. Dropping for Domi. Back for Bertuzzi around back of the net. Curls, sends it towards the goal, but it was well wide of the net. Domi sends it towards the net, but it is caught by the left hand of Alex Lyon. And with 3:33 and a 3-3 tie, a timeout. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 on the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
A truly fantastic 3/4 carat created diamond in the solitaire style number 1111 is just $2,399. Michael, tell them about the freedom we give them.
Go! A new episode of The Amazing Race is here. And it's bigger than ever. Let's go. With 90-minute episodes. Go! All season long. A new episode of The Amazing Race, Wednesday at 9:30, 7 Mountain on CTV.
Buy a diamond solitaire from Spence and you can trade in your mounting toward any other style of ring within 1 year of the date of purchase. Receive full value for the mounting you trade in, which means you can choose from 154 different styles of solitaires.
It's a great time to get engaged.
Spence. Wow! Located in Vaughan, Scarborough, and Mississauga.
Hi, I'm Randy Hanatko, founder of Train West Management and Consulting. Few careers offer what a sales career can. No barriers to entry, always in demand, and the opportunity for unlimited income. So why do we meet so many annoying and unprofessional salespeople? Because they never had professional training to learn modern selling the right way. For 18 years, we've been training professional salespeople to reach their full potential. If you're deadly serious about becoming an elite salesperson, visit trainwest.ca today.
Hi, Anthony Longo here. When it comes to hosting Thanksgiving, choosing the right centerpiece can be tricky. This year, why not try an edible arrangement of our tender Canadian AAA beef strip loin steaks and roast, aged for over 21 days. And if beef isn't your thing, talk to our meat experts about reserving your turkey or ham. And if you just want flowers, sure, we have those too. Whatever floats your gravy boat. Visit us in-store or at longos.com. For quality that meets your family standards this Thanksgiving, trust ours. Longos.
Making your lousy commute fun. Overdrive with Hayes Noodles and the O-Dog every weekday, 4 to 7 p.m. on TSN 1050.
A shout out to the Toronto Argonauts, who will celebrate their 150th anniversary tomorrow night when they entertain the Edmonton Elks. Mike Hogan will have the game right here on TSN 1050 as they
150 years.
No, I wasn't there for the first game.
No, I know. I'm just
150 years. Toronto Argonaut football team. Yes.
Oh, you wouldn't go to the first game.
Thank you.
Maybe
second.
When you were a newborn. Why would you be going to a football game?
I hate you. Shot from the blue line to stop before it reached the net.
Only 83 to go.
You know, if I'd have hired a hitman, I'd be out by now. Played down into the Detroit zone.
Thank God you're cheap.
Played ahead down into the Toronto zone. The icing was waved off, and Samsonov wasn't aware of that and let it go. Could have been a bit of a dangerous happenstance down there. Puck down in the Toronto end. 2.5 minutes to go. Dare I say it, in regulation time. Rafferty with a shot. Down is Samsonov, and he's lost the stick again. That's 5 times tonight he's lost the stick.
Having trouble picking it up, too.
Leafs getting onside. Shot in by McCabe. Far side, Holmberg. Back of the net, Camp. Looking for Marner. Marner centers in front of the goal, and it was knocked away before Camp could reach it. Now Marner is intercepted again. Marner at the point, holds to the left wing side for McCabe. That was partially intercepted, but now Marner has it again. Marner coming off the boards, looking for Nylander, who's off the bench. He gets the pass, circles the goal, stops, left it there for Marner. Marner trying to center, gets it back to the blue line for Liljegren. Returned in front for Matthews. Matthews to the left wing side, McCabe, and he shot it wide of the goal. Matthews to the blue line, McCabe with it again. Shot off a leg wide. At the point, Liljegren on the boards for Matthews. Matthews flips in now for McCabe. McCabe back of the net for Marner. Marner looks in front, still with it. To the point, off a stick, and it comes to center ice with 1:07 to go. Right back in for Mitch Marner. Took a shot, and it was blocked. Rebound corralled by Nylander. Played back to Morgan Riley. Off to Marner. Marner holds, still with it. Now sends it to the net. No one could get a stick on it. He was hoping for a redirect. And Lyon is able to swallow that up and hold. With 49.8 seconds left to go here in the third period.
And for the Leafs, that is shot number 34 on the night. 11th of the period. Leafs out shooting the Red Wings 11. Well, they just added another one. 35-23.
Clauston made a great redirect, and that was when Samsonov had to make a good save and lost his stick again. Leafs win the face-off. Centering pass. Oh, Tavares just did redirect that away from the glove hand of Lyon, but it went wide. Bertuzzi unable to get to it. Bertuzzi out there now with the big boys as it comes down into the Toronto zone. A centering pass hit the side of the goal, and the Leafs have it again. 26 seconds. Bertuzzi chipping it along. Couldn't find Tavares. Red Wings back at center. 16 seconds, and everybody who is here tonight looking forward to overtime, I'm sure. I may not be in that group, but that's another story for another time. There's a shot right on, stopped by Lyon. And we will have overtime.
And it'll be the third time this season, third time this preseason, I should say, and the third time in this building. The Leafs have lost to Ottawa and Montreal in extra time, and now we're going to go to overtime here. So it's going to be interesting with the talent that Sheldon Keefe has to go to, who we see start. Like we said, we saw David Kemp start a lot of games in overtime near the end of last season.
Well, we're going to stay here. The Leafs will, again, as we mentioned, play the Red Wings again in out.
The last time it was in Ottawa or Montreal for a home opener would have been October 7th, 2017 against the New York Rangers.
Wow. Look at you, just full of completely useless information, but at your fingertips.
And I have so much more.
And you're so good at it. Yeah.
That is the tip of the useless information iceberg.
Here the Red Wings in with a shot off the wing, and it's deflected off the stick of David Kampf, who starts along with Marner up front.
When's the last time the Leafs, I guess it was last year, opened in Montreal? Then you've got to go back. They actually opened in Detroit in the 2008-2009 season. If I'm not mistaken, that was Mike Babcock's run.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't think it was. I'm not sure if it was Babs. Might have been.
Face off to the left in the Toronto zone. And now Camp is arguing and has been waved out of the face-off circle. So Marner will move in. And the draw won by Detroit. The Red Wings get it back to Gostisbehere. He decides to bring it back to center ice, chased there by Camp. Leafs can get a change here if they want it, but elect not to do so, as the Red Wings now drop it back, and it's brought on by Berggren. Berggren in on the left wing, going wide, works around back of the goal, had it knocked off his stick. Camp is there to try to play it out, but it is played by the Red Wings into the center ice area, and again the Leafs do not change, and the Red Wings do. They get at least one exchange, and then a shot went well wide, and the rebound is going to come all the way to center ice. Marner's going to head to the bench now as well. Leafs get their first change in, and it is Nylander and Matthews joined by Jake McCabe, but the Red Wings own the puck, and across the line is Sherratt. Dropping for Soderblom, trying to work in, broken up, and just failing to knock it ahead to a streaking William Nylander was McCabe. Puck goes around back of the goal. The Leafs now have it under control, and starting out with it is Austin Matthews. Matthews working in on the right side. You'll recall he narrowly missed winning the game the other night. Here's Nylander in, scores! To Nylander, and the Maple Leafs win it in overtime at 1:34 of the extra session.
And I don't know if you will ever witness a more subdued overtime celebration than Willie Nylander, who seems absolutely perturbed that it took a minute 24 to end it in overtime. So not much of a celebration, but Willie Nylander and the Leaf big boys come through in this game. Austin Matthews, Tyler Bertuzzi, and a pair of goals from Willie Nylander. And the Leafs will close out the home portion of the preseason with a 4-3 overtime win over the Detroit Red Wings. A game, looking at, as we said, the lineups probably shouldn't have been as competitive as it was. Leafs outshoot the Wings by a count of 38-23. Toronto only gave up 3 shots on goal in the third period, but couldn't finish at the other end to keep this game from going to extra time.
Well, we will step aside for the post-game show. Jim Taddy and Frankie Corrado coming along, and invite you to join us on Saturday when the Leafs finish out the preseason schedule with a game in Detroit. We'll have it for you beginning at 7 o'clock. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on TSN 1050 and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
2-for-1 Pizza is taking it up a notcho with new 2-for-1 nachos and Irish nachos for just $9.99 each. Enjoy the 2-for-1 nachos with corn tortilla chips, or try the
Foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down.
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
Before AvidXchange, managing accounts payable took too much time and effort. Reviewing invoices, tracking down approvals, the list goes on. But with AvidXchange, your AP is automated so you can easily review and approve invoices anytime, anywhere. You'll gain greater visibility and control into your workflow, giving you time to focus on more important things. Experience the power of change. AvidXchange. Learn more at avidexchange.com. That's avidexchange.com.
Plan. But our son will want to drive it too. Insurance plan. We do both. Cooperators. Investing in your future together. Mutual funds and related investment products are offered through Cooperators Financial Investment Services, Inc. Terms and conditions apply.
When Ottawa's proposed electricity regulations make electricity unaffordable, you may have to make some hard choices.
Winter boots for my kids.
Groceries for my family.
Our mortgage.
My rent. Braces.
A rainy day fund.
Visit tellthefeds.ca to learn why your power bill could be 4 times higher than today. And tell the feds, affordable and reliable electricity matters. A message from the Government of Alberta.
I asked my Mopar service expert for advice on preparing my car for winter. He said switch to winter tires. Below 7 degrees Celsius, they have superior adhesion to regular tires. That's good advice, I say. He says that's expert advice.
Enjoy a free seasonal tire changeover with peace of mind maintenance or inspection at the Get Winter Ready event. And buy 3 tires, get the 4th free. See your Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram dealer for details. We built it. We know it.
When you choose Air Canada, the world is within easy reach. Lucas loves that he can take a beach break when it suits his schedule.
Later flight it is. I am so not a morning person.
He also loves that he can continue his world's best ramen tour.
In New York, Tokyo, and next stop, Singapore.
And he especially loves that he's racking up Aeroplan points for his next family vacation.
Even if the in-laws are coming.
With over 180 destinations to choose from, why look anywhere else? Book at aircanada.com or contact your travel agent.
TSN 1050. Listen anywhere. Stream your favorite shows on your smart speaker. Simply tell your smart speaker to listen to TSN 1050 everywhere you want it.
Puck goes around back of the goal. The Leafs now have it under control, and starting out with it is Austin Matthews. Matthews working in on the right side. You'll recall he narrowly missed winning the game the other night. Here's Nylander in, scores! Matthews to Nylander, and the Maple Leafs win it in overtime at 1:34 of the extra session.
Joe Bowen with the final call. Leafs winning 4-3 in overtime over Detroit. On to Detroit Saturday to end the preseason. Welcome to the post-game show live from Scotiabank Arena. Jim Taddy, Frank Corrado, and Jimmy Ralph to sum it up. And Ralphie, sort of close to the starting lineup for the Leafs in this game. You may have wanted more, but they persevered. Yeah, although it might have been the all-time worst overtime celebration in the history of the game. Willie Nylander looked like it was like why did we have to do this? We should have been done 7 minutes ago. But it was, both from Matthews and Willie Nylander, the reaction, it was like, all right, come on, let's get out of here. Like this is ridiculous. It took too long. Yeah, I think we said it right from the start of the game that you look at the talent and the lineup available, and with all due respect to the Red Wing players that are trying to make an impression, it should have been probably a 5-1, 6-1 kind of game. Yep. But as much as you like to say you get up for every game, play it the same way, that's not necessarily the same for different players when it comes to the preseason. So you give them a pass, because I know when we joked about it before, we said, remember last year in preseason, and you're going to go, no. No, not really, no. So, we pay attention because we're here, but within a couple of weeks, nobody's going to remember this point. It's nice that we've had Fraser Minton become a storyline coming through, with Klimberg being unavailable. Him being on the number 1 power play unit, we don't talk about that. Willie Nylander's experiment at center, at least for tonight, has disappeared.
Yeah.
So it's more somebody that's a nice surprise, and Fraser Minton that's going to be the storyline over the next few days.
The only thing I actually remember from last year's preseason was Nylander was like head and shoulders above everyone else.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things at the time where you're like, well, it's just preseason, right? He's playing against some inferior opponents, but he carried that through the rest of the season. I think he looks even better at this point this year than he did at that point last year.
And still let him do a 40-goal season, too.
Yeah, and maybe he's on pace to do something even more special this year. And tonight he was great. I thought early on in the game there were times where he's the first guy back with a stick check, disrupting the Detroit Red Wings going towards the Leafs zone, and then he's the first player going back the other way. I thought he was dynamic, he was fast, he was pretty tenacious getting on pucks, and he gets rewarded with 2 goals.
Frankie, as much as the goals and everything else are impressive, and what you just said, the last part, the willingness to engage in the one-on-one battles, I think has really been the turning point in his game, which leads to puck retrieval and takeaways and everything else, and that's a big part of it. So I'm with you, but I think when you saw early in his career, sometimes he'd shy away from those one-on-one battles.
The old
along
flyby.
Yeah,
I've seen the flyby, but I've also if you take note, when he's on the penalty kill, he can't do it. Like, he's been put in some situations here. He's on the penalty kill. He can't do the flyby, and you can see instinctually he wants to do it, and he'll jam on the brakes. He's like, wait a second, I can't do that here.
Somebody might be watching.
This is going to show up in video tomorrow.
So 4-3 was the final score. This was our first look in the same game. Bertuzzi, Domi, Reeves, and Nyes, the 4 guys that should make life more difficult for the opposition. I can't say that happened tonight, but Bertuzzi's goal, even though it was a bad play by a guy who's going to play in the American Hockey League on a bad pass,
don't say that lightly to Frankie and I during training camp, the end of training camp.
You don't have to play in the American Hockey League. You get to play in the American Hockey League.
It's an honor.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I forgot who I was working with. Let me rephrase. An unfortunate episode for a guy who won't be on the NHL roster.
Not now.
You know what he said? You know what he said to me before the game? He goes, "How hard is it to play games like this?" I go, "Jimmy, I never had a mail-it-in game. I was fighting for my life, or I was the guy on the other team with the B roster, just trying to not get caved in by the good players all night."
And Ralphie's starting to cry now.
And look where we are now.
And look at it from my standpoint, where you only get to play half a game, even though you were supposed to play the whole game.
So let me rephrase again. The fact that Bertuzzi scored was a big moment.
Quit interrupting. Frank and I have got something. Yeah, it was. I mean, and drew a couple of high-sticking penalties. Like we said, he may not have been as popular in Detroit as we thought because got stuck in the face a couple of times. But yeah, you certainly see, the offensive depth, for lack of a better term for it, that you've got to be impressed with, where you're saying now you've probably got a legitimate third line that could be offensive and some strength down the middle. And it'll be interesting to see whether the Nylander playing center is just, was, even though they wanted to give it a lot more time, if that's gone. It's going to be interesting to see. Kelly Yarncroc didn't play a whole lot either. I don't know what the final was, Jimmy, but I think it was less than 6 minutes by the end of 2 periods of play, and got a little bit of a penalty kill time late.
11:48 in total.
Yeah, so
first
a little
game,
more in the third. But yeah, whether they were trying to ease him in or, showcase, give a little more ice time to the likes of Nyes and Minton. But
those guys deserve ice time too. They had another strong game. Like, every time we come on the headset, I feel like we talk about Nyes and how tenacious he is at getting pucks back and with the stick lifts. He was at it again tonight. Him and Fraser Minton have a good thing going, and it's just like Minton will put himself in the right spot so things can happen quickly. It's a turnover, and Minton kind of reads it, and he's in this quiet little area on the ice. They have a good little connection, and those guys are guys like Nyes was going to be in the mix. Minton has played his way into the mix. Pontus Holmberg's another guy who's playing himself into the mix. You notice him for being in the right place at the right time. He draws a penalty tonight, 2 penalties actually, by moving his feet, leaning on guys, using his big frame to protect pucks. On the back end, Simon Benoit gets a very good opportunity tonight because Timmins is hurt. Klingberg is working his way back, but with Timmins hurt, like, who's going to be that 7th guy that's ready to be called upon? Takes 3 minor penalties tonight. It's not a great game for him.
And and this is very similar to last year. Remember, Jake Muzzin was gone 3 or 4 games into the season. Then Morgan Riley went down, and you had Jordy Ben and Victor Mete. All of a sudden, that depth that you didn't think you'd have to use, and eventually got to the point where the Leafs did have to go out and get Connor Timmins, who is, he's, I think, the guy. If he's not in your top 6, he's number 7.
Oh, for sure.
Not with withstanding the injury that he is going to have to come back from. But you could very well see a similar trend as what we saw last year, where guys that you thought were 7, 8, 9 in the depth chart are suddenly in your lineup, and that's exactly why you have them.
You start thinking, well, who is that guy now? Is it Lagesson? Is it Lajoie? Is it Koken?
I thought Lagesson looked good. I know
he's got NHL experience, right?
Koken is a guy that I think they had some surprises with in training camp.
Yes.
I know they praised him after a couple of preseason games. But it's going to be interesting. I still believe, I know we've talked about this off air as well, when it comes to the goaltending, Ilya Samsonov is more than capable and had some great moments. I still think Joe Woll is the guy that may take over as the season goes on. I might be wrong, but I liked him so much down the stretch last year, and even when he did get into the postseason against Florida after the Samsonov injury. As much as we look at Nyes and what the expectations are this year, I look at Joe Woll and say, I'm not so sure he isn't the guy that might have enough, if he can develop over the year, to be the number one guy by the spring.
I wonder how much of that has to do with the mindset for Samsonov. Last year, he's put in a situation where there's no pressure because him and Matt Murray are going to be the tandem, and you're just playing, you're not thinking about things. This year, goes through arbitration. I don't think the arbitration itself is an issue. A lot of players do it. It's more, you're the number one guy now. It's going to be somewhat of a tandem, but you're the number one guy. You got a young kid in Joseph Woll behind you. I wonder what that does to his head, like the pressure of that. And I think
are you saying the pressure's off because you're number one, or the pressure's on?
No, I think the pressure's on now. Like the pressure is on to perform, and I wonder if he can play well under that pressure, knowing that he's the number one guy.
Yeah, and everybody's different because I know there are some guys that need to be pushed from a backup. You need to compete for ice time, and there's other guys that it's a distraction. When you want to have kind of that leeway like most of your teammates. If I have a bad game on Friday, I'm still going to be back in Sunday. I'm not playing every game for the next game. You've got a confidence in me that I can battle back. But, yeah, some guys need that push all the time that you might lose the number one position. And let's face it, I think Matt Murray was the guy that was supposed to last year be the number one guy, even though you thought they talked about creating competition for the position. But it was really through injury that Samsonov became the number one, and his record, especially on home ice, was outstanding.
And you didn't have time to think about it. He was thrust into it, and you didn't have time to think about it all summer.
Yeah, you're in, and you're it.
Ralphie, just make a note here: no AHL reference Friday.
No negative AHL
Saturday's
references.
game.
And would not appreciate if you don't mention cuts.
Yeah,
for the
okay.
regular season.
Well, just text me the list.
Yeah,
when you get home.
There are some buzzwords I'd like you to stay away from.
Waivers,
Springfield, Kalamazoo,
popcorn on the bench,
Chrysler plant.
Okay, Ralphie. Thanks very much.
All right, boss. Thanks.
Oh my! 4-3. The Leafs win in overtime. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050, the iHeartRadio app, and the Leafs Radio Network.
All right, everyone, step up and down. Left foot, right foot, you're climbing up a trail. Now back in your Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and getting active in the real...
Foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down.
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
The world, work those abs, driving right through the mud and left and right. Keep that core engaged and bend at the knees as you load more into your Subaru. Windows down, take in that outdoor air, and park.
Get more value out of every kilometer at your local Subaru dealer, starting with award-winning safety.
With 6% interest on deposits, we don't know if we should call this a savings account or an earnings account. Let's just call it what it is. An awesome rate for new Tangerine clients. Earn a 6% savings rate for 5 months when you open a Tangerine savings account. After all, why put money aside when you could put it to work? Learn more at tangerine.ca/save faster. Tangerine, that's forward banking. Some conditions apply. Promotional interest is calculated daily.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom, wha-bam, zap, turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Fiscal license 12616.
Puck goes around back of the goal. The Leafs now have it under control, and starting out with it is Austin Matthews. Matthews working in on the right side. You'll recall he narrowly missed winning the game the other night. Here's Nylander in, scores! Matthews to Nylander, and the Maple Leafs win it in overtime at 1:34 of the extra session.
TSN's Player of the Game.
Pretty obvious one tonight, Jimmy. Willie Nylander, isn't it? 2 goals on the night. He got the party started at 4-on-4, and he finished the party in overtime, and he was very noticeable right from the beginning of the game. A lot of jump to his game, working both ends of the ice. Just something about seeing him on the wing. He looks more comfortable. He just looks like he has a little more confidence, and when you put players in positions to succeed, generally speaking, you're going to get those kinds of results, and it was a great game for Willie Nylander.
Yeah, I guess you can't fault anybody for trying something new, especially in training camp, but going forward, I don't know that he plays center again. How about you? Unless
I could see them trying it out. The one big question mark is going to be Fraser Minten. How long does he stay with the team? Is he going to get some games to start the season? Is he going to stay past 9 games? And if Fraser Minten works himself into that equation where he's going to be the third-line center, you have no need to try Willie as a third-line center or a second-line center anymore because you know how things slot. David Kampf is probably going to be the fourth-line center, but he makes $2.4 million, okay? That's too much money for a fourth-line center, but you can pay a third-line center more money. So he's somewhere in between. For me, he's a very good fourth-line center. There still is a need to have a third-line center if Willie's going to be the second-line winger. If Willie's going to be the third-line center, then you have a void as far as who's your second-line right winger. So some things still need to play themselves out, but I think Pontus Holmberg playing himself into the mix here as a guy who it was very quiet around him coming back for this season. If he can maybe slide into that fourth-line center role, then maybe you ask a little more out of David Kampf in a third-line center position. But there still are a few things that need to be ironed out with this team before the puck drops on opening night.
Yeah, and the injury to Yarncroke sort of opened the door, and Minten stepped in, and they were down a body. So you can't deny that the Minten-Nyes chemistry, and I don't know where that goes, but it's fascinating to watch. Let's move to the blue line. How do you see this blue line? I think there's a legitimate concern about edge or sandpaper back there.
Yeah, and it is legitimate. And so Simon Benoit is a signing that probably serves that purpose. He's a big, kind of burly player. Doesn't move the puck overly well. And tonight he takes 3 minor penalties, and you can see the feet are kind of catching up to him. The lack of puck-moving ability is kind of catching up to him. You'd like to see a guy who plays with some edge, some physicality, just be a little better in those areas so you think, okay, you can put him out there. He started on the second pair tonight with Jake McCabe. Halfway through the game, he had to go to the third pair with Mark Giordano and start getting sheltered a little bit more. That's not a great sign. But I will say this. This blue line is going to look very differently sometime down the road in this season than it does now. Brad Treliving has a very good track record of acquiring defensemen. He did it in Calgary. He got Dougie Hamilton. He got Noah Hannafin. He signed Chris Tanev. He got Nikita Zadorov. He brought in Mackenzie Weegar. Like, those are all names of Eric Goodbranson's another one. Those are all names of defensemen that have some kind of like brand name recognition that do certain things well that can help your blue line. So you have someone in charge here who at least has some track record of bringing in good defensemen to a team in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it is a season-long tweak. They did a lot of work back there. Injury sort of delayed the start of that, but after everybody got healthy, they moved some bodies around, and I think at the deadline they added more than anybody could have expected, especially on that blue line. So we'll see what happens this year under a new general manager.
Exactly, and it's going to look very different. There's going to be certain players that aren't going anywhere. Morgan Riley's not going anywhere. I think that John Klingberg experiment has a lot of potential to work here in Toronto. And let's not forget, as much as the Leafs needed a big physical defenseman on the back end, they also need some offensive production from the back end. And Klingberg helps fit that need as well. So, listen, it's a work in progress. It's going to look very different come trade deadline time this season.
Absolutely. So the Leafs, according to my records, are 4-1-2. And they were 0-1-1 after their first two games. That's a pretty good run.
It is. Jimmy, one little side note for you. Talking about Fraser Minten, he was 7 for 9 in faceoffs tonight, 77%. That's just one of those things. It's a little sign that, like, this guy can compete with some adult players, a guy who's a junior-aged player.
Frankie C., we'll do this again on Saturday, right?
Can't wait, Jimmy.
We'll chat then. This is Leafs Game Night on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
Got PC Optimum points? Claire does, and shops the bonus redemption event at Shoppers Drug Mart to get more free stuff for her points.
If I redeem 50,000 points, I'll get 60.
Sometimes things happen that shouldn't happen, and what should happen doesn't happen.
At Magnum, we help you protect all your assets with the right coverage.
If you have your license suspended or revoked, have multiple traffic violations, or you were involved in an accident without having insurance, now you can count on Magnum SR22, an auto insurance package that allows you to drive immediately.
Our SR22 packages guarantee you better price
and better service.
Magnum Insurance SR22 packages.
Insurance that works.
Foul chefs.
I'm the one with the knife.
Foul food.
What is that? The smell.
Foul mouth.
Shut it down!
Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, he's back. A new episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Stream now.
You have established any ground rules for the conversation, they are stealing your information. Having the inner strength to say, I'd love to answer that, but before I do, can I ask you a few questions, is critical. If you're deadly serious about improving your sales and leadership skills, go to trainwest.ca to learn how. That's trainwest.ca.
On October 24th, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of Canada's Light the Night events will bring together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of blood cancer, helping to fund life-saving research. About every 23 minutes in Canada, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. 40% of childhood cancers are blood cancers such as leukemia and lymphoma. With your help, more treatments for blood cancers can happen. You can help end blood cancers by joining us in person once more at Light the Night this October 24th. Register today at lightthenight.ca.
First up with Korolnik and Koliakovo. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on TSN 1050.
You ain't first, you're last.
Get a Town Scoreboard brought to you by Maple Toyota. Build your next dream Toyota at Maple Toyota. And check out Maple Toyota's pre-owned inventory arriving daily. Guy, it's time to Toyota. Visit mapletoyota.com. We got a ton of games in the NHL. Preseason continuing. Boston 2-1 over the Rangers. That's the third period. Also in the third, Blues 2-0 over the Stars. In the second, it is Chicago 2-1 over Minnesota. End of the second, Predators 5-1 over the Hurricanes. Ottawa leads the Winnipeg Jets 2-0 end of the second. End of the first, San Jose and LA are tied at 1. And these are done. Panthers 6-3 over the Lightning. Flyers 5-2 over the Islanders. Capitals 4-2 over the Jackets. Later on, Coyotes and Ducks, Avs and Golden Knights, and that's your NHL story. Thanks for joining us. Our next game will be, of course, Saturday as the Wings and Leafs battle from Detroit. This is Leafs Game Night signing off on TSN 1050 and the Leafs Radio Network.
CHUM AM Toronto is TSN 1050, an iHeart radio station and the voice of Toronto sports.
Commanders really didn't stop them once. They're coming out here to start the second half with a five-man defensive front. A little bit of a different look from the Commanders, and that five-man front helped them stuff that first Fields run.
We'll call it 2nd and 9. Mooney motion man from left to right of the formation. Fields fakes the pitch. He's going to run it to the left. He's got the 30. He's got the 35. And Fields is forced out of bounds. Great vision, patience from Fields to await that hole to open up. And Darren